Hey, so we're gonna be playing some Kirby 64. This game is only about like maybe 4 or 5 hours long if you really go through it, if I remember correctly. And I haven't played this game in a few years now. I had a Let's Play of it up on YouTube, and I decided to redo it. So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm going to be 100%ing the game. Shouldn't be too hard. It's a fairly easy game. Uh, and so yeah. It took me a while to actually set this all up with the Elgato and stuff, but thankfully it all works out, and it should be good. We should be all right. Here we are. I actually have a guide open just in case, because I know I'm gonna miss something at some point. That sucks, but that's just, you know, how it is. But this, oh my gosh, now I gotta go through my history with this because it's been so long, and I'm not sure how good the mic delay is on here. I gave it a couple tests, and it seems like it's okay. Oh, you have to wait. You can't just like press it and make it go. All right, fine. So we're gonna start off file 3. Um, do I know how to use Kirby's copy ability? Yes, I do. But you're gonna demonstrate to me anyway? No? Okay. So this is the I don't remember which number of Kirby game this is. There's so many Kirby games. Which ones came out before that? Like, aside from the spin-offs, you had Dreamland Adventure, Dreamland 2, Dreamland 3, Superstar. Well, Superstar came out before Dreamland 3. And then this one, I think. But the funny thing about the Kirby games is that they have separate continuities. And yeah, believe it or not, there are actually continuities in the Kirby games. So you have Kirby's, and it's because they had like a different development teams, and that's why. So we had Kirby's Dreamland 2, 3, and Kirby 64 are all kind of part of one continuity. But also Kirby's Dreamland, Kirby's Adventure, Kirby Superstar onward is like a different continuity. Dreamland 2, 3, and Kirby 64 are often referred to as the Dark Matter trilogy, considering Dark Matter is the primary antagonist of the game. And funny fact, it's not really funny, it's kind of strange, is that the lead director on this game, oh, jeez, I'm using a third-party controller for this, so I just gotta be careful. Is that the lead director on this game, as well as Dreamland 2 and 3, is actually, like, missing? Like, maybe dead? Nobody quite knows? But this was actually the first Kirby game that I ever played. I had no idea what it was. I got a Nintendo 64 for my birthday, my 4th birthday, I believe. I have the home video. I looked at it like not that long ago. And the games I got with it were, well, it was, here's the funny thing, is that it was a Star Wars Phantom Menace edition. So it came with the Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, and well, I got Yoshi's Story along with it. Didn't come with it, but as part of the present, I got it with it, rather. What are you looking at? So I'd played those games, and it kind of wowed me because, like, my conception of video games were that, video games were like 2D sprite-based, and yeah, Yoshi's Story is that. But when I got to playing Kirby 64 and Super Mario 64, but even like I had Episode 1 Racer, like that just kind of blew my mind. I saw my cousin playing. I'm gonna need bomb. For over here. I saw my cousin playing, gosh, I want to say it was Cruisin' USA or something, it was a racing game, and it blew my mind that it had 3D graphics and everything. It was freaking wild. I'm not even that old. I'm like almost 25. But the games that I was used to playing were all like 2D sprite based. So like even this, like this is a 2D game still. I guess you could make an argument for 2.5D. It doesn't take quite full advantage of that. But I wasn't used to this, and like the 3D graphics kind of wild, and I had no idea how to play this. It messed me up because I was used to like the Mario games, right? Also, this is Waddle Doo, very common enemy in most of the Kirby games, and this is his only appearance in this game. I don't think I've ever seen that animation before. That's weird. Last time I played this was actually on the Wii collection, the Dream collection, so it's been some time since I actually played this on the N64. It's kind of wild. Mostly because I haven't had my N64 set up, but like now I'm like, I got a new monitor and I can just plug stuff straight into this monitor. So it's nice because this has 2 HDMI inputs in it. Also, this is one thing I screwed up on my original playthrough was I thought the enemy info cards here, I'm not gonna get it, actually counted towards your percentage rate. It's the little card that was in front of me for a second there. They don't. But I guess if you really want to go for everything, then you can get all of them, but they don't count towards the percentage, and you have to play like levels over and over and over again to get all of them. That's really the only other bonus thing you have to fill out in this game. It's very simple. This isn't like Kirby Superstar, where you had like the Great Cave Offensive and you had to like grab everything in there, and it was like a completion bonus thing. There's no real completion bonuses in here, aside from like, well, I'm gonna say there's no real completion bonuses because the completion bonus is finishing the game. Like, you actually have to 100% this game in order to finish it. It's kind of strange like that, but it's not something that was really a stranger to the Kirby series. At that point, seeing as the Dark Matter trilogy, that's Dreamland 2, 3, and 64, actually all require 100% completion in order to actually finish the game proper. I'm trying to remember, this stage doesn't have any ones that I need a special ability for, right? This was actually a really late N64 game, and Dreamland 3, which is... Like, you can say stuff about Dreamland 2. I think Dreamland 2 is a little bit closer to adventure than anything else. But Dreamland 3 and Kirby 64 are like, they're like, I'm gonna do this because this is classic. I gotta exit and come back in. Or I can just grab the Sparky here. Not what I meant to do, but okay. The proximity of enemies getting close together when you have to do that is a lot more lenient in this game than most Kirby games. But Dreamland 3 and Kirby 64 are very, very similar games. And they both came out very late in their console's life cycle. Dreamland 3 was actually the last it was the last game released on the SNES. Thanks for missing every single one of those. The food that the refrigerator Kirby dispenses here is actually different depending on the localization. He gives sandwiches and hot dogs in this one as compared to like I think sushi and onigiri and stuff. Oh wait, is the shard in this room? Is it like at the top of this room? No, I don't know why I thought that. The game doesn't usually hide shards in, like, stupid places like that, but that's... I don't know, that... Again, it's been forever since I played this. The shard... There's a shard in this room, and this one was the, like... This is the first, like, annoying shard of the game. If you don't know the basic thing is that you have to collect all I don't know how many crystal shards there are, but and there's 3 in each stage. This one I might die because unlike any other Kirby game, Kirby actually has like a flight meter in this. it's not really, it's like an internal meter. You can only fly for like, let's see. About 10 to 12 seconds. Every other Kirby game, it's unlimited, but I guess to balance out for the fact that this game is much easier in most regards, that they put a cap on Kirby's flying in this one. But this was the first Kirby game I played, so that's something that I got used to. And the other thing about this being the first Kirby game I played was that I was used to playing, you know, Mario games, and it's like you have to jump on the enemies in order to attack them. This one, no, you have to inhale the enemies, right? Blew my mind. Also, something that I ended up getting a little bit disappointed from was after I played this game was that the combining copy abilities thing never made a full comeback. It's kind of had iterations here and there, but the ability combination thing is something that's pretty much exclusive to the Dark Matter trilogy. In the other two games, it's entirely based on the friend that you're with. In this one, you don't have animal buddies, so despite the fact that the animal buddies' music is actually in the game, it just goes unused. But this was actually initially supposed to be like a game where you could play as these other characters, like Waddle Dee from the first one, from the first level here, and then there's Adeline here. I don't know what she did here. And King Dedede in the next stage. You can play as King Dedede only in select areas. This part is just like one big reference to the other Kirby games because you get like the little bosses like Ice Dragon here. Adeline is also a boss in Dreamland 3. There was like the common misconception that the character in Dreamland 3, because the name is shortened to Ado, that it's a different character from Adeline, but it's just like an abbreviation because of the amount of room on the screen for Adorinu, which is what Adeline's name is in Japanese. So it's the same character, and that's actually the only time we're gonna be fighting any dark matter blobs in this game. Yeah, she's a very easy boss. She became playable again along with Ribbon, the fairy there, in Kirby Star Allies, which I think is probably the closest to a proper successor to this game that there is. Like, Star Allies has a whole bunch of other stuff in it as well. I should play Star Allies on here, but what was I gonna say? But I think it has a lot closer ties to Kirby 64 than the other games, namely that there are actually combinations that you get in that game. And they are often dependent on the friends that you're with in that game, so it does fall in line with this game and the other ones in the, you know, so-called Dark Matter trilogy. I am getting everything in each stage, right? I'm like actually not paying attention to the game. Why do I still have Refrigerator Kirby? Refrigerator Kirby is one of the things is that you can paint in Star Allies as well. Sometimes that happens. I don't like burning. Like, I never understood why this is, in some games, it's favored over the fire breathing ability. Maybe because the fire breathing ability is too close to some other, like, projectile attacks. It's not really projectile attacks, it's like a limited range projectile attack, almost. I like this, just the camera movements and everything in this game. And Star Allies doesn't do that. It doesn't do the dynamic camera. And that really sucks. I kind of wish that it did. There are some other Kirby games that do. I think this is another guy you can paint in Star Allies as well. There are other Kirby games that do the dynamic camera thing. Robobot and Triple Deluxe do it in a few instances, and those are more of follow-ups to Return to Dreamland, which I don't think did it at all, but I don't know. This one's pretty unique in its presentation. compared to the other Kirby games. No other Kirby game really quite feels like this aside from Dreamland 3. But even then, like, there's no game after this that feels like this. Sandwich back. Oh, it's a Maxim tomato. Why did I think it was a sandwich? Oh, the sandwich is on the thing at the end here. Oh no, I need you actually. I think this is one of the first ones that you need like a combined copy ability for. There's another one on the other platform, right? Yes. I really wish that they would bring back this this combined cut. Also, cutter in this game is so weird because like you just throw part of your body and it makes like a nasty like slap sound when it connects to you again. It's so gross. There's very similar enemies to Bumbers. That's what these guys are called in Dreamland 3, but they have a different name. But you can actually... I'll show it off later. The funny thing about this game is you can actually hold enemies over your head, and you can actually use the Bumbers as like a parachute. It doesn't really serve a purpose, but it's there. Now, the reason you actually have to use double cutter here, I think, is because this one clips through the floor, whereas normal cutter doesn't, I think. I could be wrong there. I think you need double cutter there. Could be wrong. It's kind of funny that you know, when you combine two of the same ability in this game, it just gives you like a super powered version of that ability. There's a part in Triple Deluxe, I think, or it could be Robobot that's very sort of reminiscent to this, that uses the dynamic camera that goes around a staircase. But it's really brief. It's not like a whole room. I like this, like, you know, it's very atmospheric, and it falls in line with what, you know, tonally I think every other Kirby game really does. I think the lighting is nice, and you know, again, this was a late cycle game on the N64. There's enemies that can actually generate on this if you stick around too long. There you go. I think you can inhale them. I could be wrong. Those little static electricity guys that generate on poles are actually kind of a pain in some of the later levels. So this is actually the only King Deity fight in this game. King Deity is usually reserved for like the penultimate boss, but that is not in this game. You fight a form of dark matter as the penultimate boss, which is kind of weird. It's not like a dark matter blob like this. Kind of weird. I think maybe it had to do with like the fact that it's like a console that's on the N64, that they kind of removed like the dark matter's like little orange blobs that come off of it. I don't know, but this operates very similarly to the Dreamland 3 second last fight with DDD, except it's much easier. I just want to demonstrate some of his attacks here. Like he'll have the, he's not going to do it just because I'm trying to show it off. He has the, like the dark matter in his chest thing, and it opens up and shoots stuff at you. This also doesn't have the King DDD theme in it either. I just thought about that. That's kind of strange. Why didn't they elect to do that for this? Oh man, he actually jumps pretty high. That's a pretty normal King Deity thing for him to do. Come on. Do the freaking dark matter attack. Come on. I just want to show it. Maybe I have to bait him to do it. Like I have to stand within a certain like distance from him. If you're not familiar with Kirby games, little projectiles like the stars that he shoots out there. Oh look, he's actually doing the inhale attack. I don't think I've like seen that in years. That's funny. That's so gross. But yeah, the little stars that he shoots out, if you don't have an ability, you can just suck those up and shoot it back at him. That probably makes the fight, like, considerably more fair. I just want to show off he has the dark matter in his stomach thing. He's never gonna do it. Yeah. Oh no, is it only during his second phase? I forgot he has a second phase. Okay. Shows how long I've been playing this game for. I guess because he is the last of these mini-bosses. Yeah, see, look at that. Although it's kind of different because in Dreamland 3, if I remember correctly, the fight is like, you fight him normally and then he bursts out the dark matter attacks, whereas here it's like, he was clearly doing like the inhale thing before and he had like the dark matter dust coming in and he was like visibly possessed. There's a funny thing that this game does where it's like, you jump on enemies like this that you've defeated and it just like pushes you off. So the original concept for this game was that you'd be able to switch between Waddle Dee, Kirby, King Dedede, and Adeline, and each of them would have their own little things to do with them. Like Waddle Dee, his whole thing was like holding things over his head, and there was like he was able to like disguise himself, I think. I don't know. I don't remember. But it's, this has actually a pretty interesting Wispy Woods fight. Wispy Woods, it's usually like you just stand there and just attack the tree. This one you have to attack, you can't actually, you don't have a direct line to Wispy himself. You have to attack his little Wispy Juniors here. And then you have to attack his roots when he sends them out in phase 2. I think every boss in this game has 2 phases, like every proper boss. Not talking about like the mini bosses or anything, or the on Popstar there's like the end level bosses, which don't exist in the other stages. It's only on Popstar. But yeah, for some reason, I guess during development something maybe got rushed or something, and then they cut out the playing as different characters thing. That was, I don't know. It's like lost potential, but it's an idea they've revisited since, namely in Star Allies. And it's actually interesting. Star Allies is because they've done sort of a similar concept. They had a GameCube game planned to be the follow-up to this, and it brought back the Animal Buddies. And but not just the Animal Buddies, it brought back the Animal Buddies in conjunction with the way that the friends worked in Kirby Superstar, in that it was a multiplayer game. You could play it single player, but it was also multiplayer. And that game just kind of like disappeared. And the project ended up becoming Kirby's Return to Dreamland, which kind of works like that. But I think Kirby Star Allies is actually the proper realization of what they were trying to do with that game. So I do have everything on Popstar, right? Yeah. Give me a moment here. Okay. Rockstar. Level 2. Of course, right as I start again, my nose starts to run again. Like the fucking animal I am. I'm sorry, I shouldn't use that language. This is a children's game. I should be using appropriate language with it. I'm gonna throw this away. Here, I'll show the Bumber thing. Although he loses his feet when you hold him above your head. And you can do this with most enemies. And they all kind of do, like, different things sometimes. This guy, not so much. But some of them do, like, little funny things, and you can, like, use them to hurt other enemies with. I forgot what's, like, some of these do. I'm like, what? And I figure I'm like, oh yeah, that's why I don't remember it, because it's not really useful. I think you have to use this once for a, I was gonna say a star, a shard later on. Actually, taking those guys out at a distance is pretty important. There is one power-up combination I need for this level. I'm gonna need rock for it. Rock behaves a little bit differently in this game. Usually it's like you use rock and you fall like that, right? But you can actually walk around as rock, and it's painfully slow. But you are invincible while you do it. It's kind of strange. I don't remember, like, is there a Sparky available in this level? There should be, because I need the Sparky, like, the electricity and rock combination for one of the shards later on. Like, just look at this lighting. It just looks so nice. And I kind of wish we had, like, an HD remaster so we could, like, see this better. As you see, it's kind of fuzzy just because the video output is like this. It looks pretty good on emulator, I'll be honest. These guys are just thwomps, basically. If there's no Sparky, and there should be, I might have to just come back to the stage. Thankfully, you can do that, and you can just grab whatever ability you need and just come back. Like, you're not required to complete the other stages. Oh, there's the other interesting thing this does, is that this actually behaves, like, correctly, and you roll down stuff. And I think because you have to carry the rock through here, and that's deliberately why they designed this room like that. It's kind of funny because, like, each of these rooms is kind of like a set piece almost in this game. And other Kirby games don't behave like that. It's more of just, like, action platformer stuff. But in this game specifically, it's like every room is its own little set piece. Getting you to do certain things and showing off different things. They're just freaking out on the thing there. The top. There are a few auto-scrollers in this game, and Kirby games don't typically do that. But that's just how it is. There's this stage, there's some on Neo Star. I don't think there's one on Aqua Star, but I know there's a couple on Neo Star. See, like, that's the wall we have to break here. Well, there's the funny thing is that Scarfies in this game, they do this when you turn around on them rather than when you attack them. So is there a Sparky down here? Yes, there is. I have to be very careful as to not waste it. There we go back up the hill. I think it usually, like, the stuff that you need is usually in the level. I'm fairly sure there's a few exceptions to that, though. Like in the later stages. You know, I never really realized, like, it's a very, like, almost sort of transparent layer. Oh, it's gone now. That's weird. But there's, like, pyramids in the background. Like, you could see them for, like, for, like, a little bit there. Are they on, like a trigger that you have to, like, cross a certain thing for? Yeah, there they are again. That's weird. Oh no, do you know what that is? That's... I just realized that. Is that supposed to be the... No, those are. I was like, is that supposed to be like the alien spaceship in the later level? But no. Like, they are pyramids in the background, and they kind of like fade in and out. That's weird. They have like a fuzzy sort of mirage image in the background. I've never noticed that before. This game's fond of this, having stuff in the background that attacks you in the foreground. These guys, the Gabon there, I don't think they're seen again until Star Allies. There we go. I'm trying to go for these enemy info cards, even though I know I don't need them. It's just I see them, I'm like, oh, I need it. And speaking of Star Allies, this next stage, there's a section of it that actually appears in Star Allies during Adeline's campaign, because each of the like the Dream Friends, like they have their own sort of custom campaigns. Like they're all a little bit different, especially in their like final levels. And one of the later levels in Adeline's Star Allies campaign uses a segment of this level. It also uses the entirety of the factory level, which is probably the most memorable level from this game, because it is you play that as a kid and it's hard as balls. But the section that's in Star Allies is this area that's up here. Not right here. There's Rockies that are gonna follow me if I jump up. I think the first couple don't fall because they don't actually spawn until you jump. Yeah, so it's this section here that's in Star Allies. You have to get through the floor. You can kind of see where the floor breaks. Then you go around this way, right? And then down, and then the floor breaks down here. And these guys can actually stick their swords through the what do you call it? The poles. And sword ability is not an ability in this game. I like the lighting in this room. You fall so fast. Like, Kirby just falls like a brick in this game. And this room has crushers in it. But they only activate if you step on them, so if you don't step on them, you're good. Yeah, just drift slowly past it, because like if you like touch them, I'm gonna demonstrate there, they just go straight up. Yeah, because you'd think that those guys would give you sword, but they give you spike. Or needle. Needle is what it's called in this game. Like, officially. The other shard in this room? The other shard, I say. Okay, yeah. At least they don't give you, like, a recharge meter for Kirby in his flight in this game. That would suck. And here's the funny thing, though, is that not only was this the first Kirby game that I owned and played, the first time I played it was I rented it from we have a chain of, I guess they're mobile service providers now, / cable company. Are they still cable company? I don't know. Rogers, that used to be used to contain a used to be they had a branch that was a rental store in Rogers Video, which I'm not sure really exists. I think it's a Canadian only thing. Anyway, the local Rogers Video had Kirby 64, and my dad rented it for me when I was a kid, and I liked it enough that we bought it, and this copy is actually one that was bought from Rogers Video. I don't think it's the same copy I initially rented, but it still has the sticker for it on it. So this copy was actually originally a rental copy, but was put up for, you know, sale. How do I get in there? I should know this. You have to, like, go through the whole room first, right? You hear, like, DDD makes a few little noises in this game. He doesn't make a lot of them, but he does. Like that. And that's actually Kirby creator Masahiro Sakurai making those noises. He also voiced these DDD in the Smash Brothers games, which, you know, he is responsible for. He kind of makes a sound there, too, that isn't just his hammer. It's just kind of like the hammer's overlaid with it. Thankfully, there aren't too many sections like this that are like a maze. DDD moves so slow. Thanks. Needed that. Rogers is definitely not in Michigan. Can't speak for the rest of the U.S. though. Yeah, I'm fairly sure it's a Canadian company. We did have Blockbuster too, and I did go to Blockbuster sometimes, but just where I lived, I was closer to the Rogers Video. And they had pretty similar selections. Like, it wasn't like one was clearly inferior to the other, and like the Rogers Video was like just the cheapo version. I actually, you know what? Here's something I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this up because there's a picture here from a Rogers Video rental store on the Wikipedia page, and let me just save it. Now I just want to pull it up because if I looked at like the original information for this image, it was like, hold on, this is when it was a Rogers Plus store, so this was shortly before it closed, more or less. But this looks almost like this was my look. Like, I know that like a lot of them were very similar in terms of how they looked on the inside, but I think this actually might be a picture of the location that I went to. And if not, it looked identical to this on the inside. Hold on. Yeah, bring it up. Like there. Here we go. This is like right before it closed too, so like all these shelves were empty. But and you can see they have like the bins and stuff because they were getting ready to leave. But yeah, the one that was near me looked identical to this, and it was housed in an old restaurant building. That off there. Wish to remove image too? Yes. I'm still getting used to using OBS Studio, which I never used before. I realized that my microphone is probably delayed on that when I brought that up. Just because the video input's delayed. I don't know. It's math I gotta work out in my head that I don't really want to. Which is the way to the shard? Is it like you go down and then over? Yeah. That's it, right? No? Okay. Oh yeah, it's up here. No, it's not. Is it in the... Oh, it is up there. I just have to make the right jump. Jeez, what am I doing? Let the Galbo go there. But, you know, I had a pretty strong attachment to this game because it was one of the first video games that I ever played. Well, console games anyway. Oof, forgot those first appeared in this level. Those are annoying enemies. Not that any enemy in this game is particularly hard to deal with, it's just that, like, some of them are much more of a nuisance than... Might as well get the health. Much more of a nuisance than others. Oh, this is the one that has, you have to fall down the right hole, and I don't remember which hole is the right hole. So, we'll see, and if we get it wrong, then we'll have to restart the level. Like cake. But there's a lot of environmental storytelling in this game. Other Kirby games do it too, but you see, you know, how there's like ruins and ancient civilization, and you have like the hole in the ground, and you see a lot of these blocks that you could see in the other levels have now fallen down into here. You can see like these tree things in the back, which are like, they're like dead coral almost. So this feels like you're at the bottom of like an ancient lake bed. And then you see this thing here, and this is like the skeleton of like a large... Could be a sea creature. You know? Like a big, like, megalodon or something. And yeah, as long as the, like, this was like, you could use rock or any combination of rock to break that. They're very good with the color coding in this game. As to what you need to break certain things. But it's interesting because, and in terms of continuity with this and... Hold on, I have to look this up just because I don't want to do this level again. I don't remember which hole it is, if it's the hole on the right or on the left. So we're on Aquastar Course 3, right? Or... Aquastar, Rockstar Course 3. It's possible to climb back up by flying through the ceiling. Oh. Huh. But anyways, it's the left hand path. Of course it is. You know, I actually, like, I had this really nice, like, glittery left-hand path, entombed. These are such, like, cheap enemies. They're called fish bones, and they're just polygons. Come on. Yeah, here's the shard. But you can go back up. That never crossed my mind that you could do that. So if you pick the wrong one, okay, that... How have I never known that? I've had this game for 19 years, and I didn't know that. This is actually one of the earlier stages in the game that was completed. Beta 64 did this wonderful, wonderful video on this game. And I'm not gonna bring it up, but see if I can find a picture just by a quick Google search. No. But this was one of the earlier sections of the level that was shown off in screenshots. And it was a little bit different. It had two waterfalls coming out of the wall there, but you know, more or less the same. I always find that stuff kind of cool. I love like when Beta 64 was just like a website. I loved browsing that stuff, and now that Beta 64, you know, they have YouTube videos and stuff. It's really cool. There's no way you can actually access that guy in the background. He's just there for decoration. Not today. I just feel like all the animations in this game are really good. Like, just look at the way the fish does that. It's a very clean looking game. Like, a lot of the early N64 titles are very rough around the edges, but the texture work in this is, like, it's amazing, honestly. Like, Kirby's obviously not really a textured thing. He's just, like, flat colors. But yeah, you can see another one of these skeletons lying in the background here. I wanna test this. Do Mariels hurt you when you eat them in this game? Because they do in... Yes, they do! They do in Dreamland 3. You can pop this guy's hat off, and then he runs away sweating, all worried. I never really thought to check that. And you come out of the mouth of one of these things, too. There is actually a shard. If it's not in this room, I think it's in the next room. This room you just have to swim down, but the next one you have to swim up in, and it's a little bit more difficult because you're not just fighting against the, gravity and the current, but there's like falling pieces of vertebrae coming down on you. I mentioned Entomb left-hand path. I'm just trying to remember where I was going. I have this really nice Entomb left-hand path patch, and of course when I got it, I got to put it on my left shoulder. And it's funny because I've looked up other people's battle jackets and stuff, and they have it on the same shoulder. I'm like, they thought the exact same thing. You gotta have it on there. Where does the first one of the vertebrae spawn? You can't actually, like, in this game. In other Kirby games, like, when you try to attack underwater, you don't use your ability except for, like, a few abilities you can use underwater. And instead you're replaced with, like, this scuba mask, and you squirt water at things. But in this one, you can actually inhale stuff underwater. It's kind of weird. There's a few different, like, movement conventions that this game breaks. So just checking, we got crystal shards there. And interesting thing, more continuity with Dreamland 3 is this alien ship. There's a very similar one in Dreamland 3. There's Kiki in the background, and unlike the other Kirby games, you can't actually, like, inhale her. But this thing just rises out of the ground like this. The alien ship is, like, if I remember in Dreamland 3, it's, like, submerged in water. And it's, like, the most annoying stage of the game, because you gotta pick up pieces of Rob. I'm gonna get a Neruf chasing me in a second. There we go. Is there, like, a sandwich on the other side of this thing? Oh no, I can't check. It's funny, the Rogers video near me closed probably, I want to say, when I was in high school. Like, it stayed open for quite a long time. And I think it might have even yeah, it definitely outlasted the Blockbuster. Ugh. Gotsos are really nasty. You can get crushed really easily in this room. Like, this game's funny because Kirby's hitbox extends almost, like, outside of his body. So even if, like, your toe, so to say, gets caught in between, like, one of these edges, when these platforms come through, then, like, you die. It's very easy to get that to happen there. Oh, you know what? Yeah, good thing I have bomb because I forgot about this. You need the light bulb ability in this room. So we got drop fish cloud. There's a few of these puzzles in the game, and one of them, I think later on, is always the same. Could be the one that's in, I was gonna say Frantic Factory, I don't know why. Because it's not even in the factory level, it's in the shopping mall level, I think. Yeah, there's a shopping mall level in this game. This ability kind of sucks. I love this room. This room looks so cool. It's so abstract and silly. Oh, see. Okay, I caught my whole freaking body in between there. Kirby's deaths are so dramatic in this game. It's not just like, ugh, and then you fall off the screen. It's like Kirby has died and you're to blame. It's so nasty. And just the noises Kirby makes when he gets hurt in this game are just, I don't know. I don't like him at all. Is there another shard in this room? I don't think so. This is actually about the most platformy the game actually gets. Although you think that platforming would be more of a challenge in this game because Kirby has such a limited range on his flight, but they don't do a whole lot of that. Here's where the, what do you call them? These guys generate, these nasty boys. Anyway, I'm just gonna go straight up. I don't need the fudge sickle. Why not? I think this, like most Kirby games, the what do you call it? The lives counter resets when you stop the game. I'm gonna, Pix is the next boss, and the thing is, Pix is actually the hardest boss in the game. Okay, second hardest boss. Miracle Matter is pretty dang hard, comparatively, because it's like a marathon, but Pix is like annoying difficult. So I'm just gonna like go grab a different ability. I think of a good place for this. So I'm gonna try this. I don't know how well it's gonna work. What's the strats? I'm not a speedrunner, and I don't think I'd ever speedrun this game. Although I imagine that this one's probably pretty accessible to speedrun. There's no major glitches or anything that you have to worry about, I don't think. It's just like get through the game as fast as possible. So this is the exploding shuriken. And I'm gonna try this on Pix because I don't think I've tried this on Pix before. And the thing about Pix is that all the other bosses have 2 phases, but Pix only has really 1 phase. The first half of the fight though is just you have to avoid it. There's I don't remember it, but it's like if you sit in the position you start with and you like go to the left and you like duck, I think you can avoid all the attacks. But this one definitely kind of tripped me up as a kid. I think staying in place though is a pretty good, oof. I don't know. I've never been good with this thing's patterns. It just sucks. And they don't bring back this boss specifically, but they bring back they do a very similar boss in Robobot. That's clearly supposed to be an homage to this, because you fight it in pretty much the same way. Ugh. It doesn't really help that like, as you know, 2.5D as this game is, the depth perception is pretty bad sometimes. And so when you get to the top of the spire here, like, On each of these platforms, like they're color coded. See the platforms, and the boss itself is color coded. See, this is why I thought it would be good, because you can just kind of do this. That was kind of an annoying attack, but then it goes into this phase where it just kind of like it like poops on you. And the reason that they're color coded is because the ones that do the matching colors are actually like they do like double damage. It's weird how like much more complex this boss is compared to the other bosses in the game, in terms of mechanics, and it's not even like that long of a fight. But I think you're prone to take a lot more damage on this fight than the other ones. It's just kind of, I don't know. I should just let these cutscenes play because, like, might as well. But the fact that you can, that this game was originally supposed to be you could switch between the players definitely explains why you always have them around in the end of the levels and in the cutscenes, like they're always with you. But the speculation, at least in that Beta 64 video, was that when you're on the level screen, is like you'd be able to select the level and then select your character, or select your character then select the level, and depending on which character that was, they would you know walk off screen. But it's only Kirby that walks off screen in the little level cutscene here, like this. See. Doesn't really make sense why that would be there if they didn't intend to show which character you picked. Actually, Shuriken's a pretty good ability. Hold on, what do I need for this stage? I think there's one that you have to what do you call it? Come on, bring the guide back. I only want to do this once. Aquastar, course 1. Oh, is this the one that requires the snowman? One of the levels does. We might have to come back to this one. There's another funny thing about this game is that if you hit enemies from underneath, you just kind of bump them. I think there's other Kirby games that do that as well, but I don't know. And if you go up through the platform, you just kill them. Weird like that. And another funny thing is that the music in this stage actually uses a little bit of the Ice Cream Island music from... Is it the Ice Cream Island music? Or the... No, it's the Float Islands theme from... What do you call it? From Superstar, I think. There's a lot of little musical nods in this game. I don't know. As thoroughly as I think I know this game, there's still stuff that I'm not 100% on. Like this segment here of the song is that, oh, glunks, they just shoot upwards when you do this. This is the introduction of the Z-Bonds, which are in Dreamland 3, and they're in this game, and then they never appeared again. I could be wrong. Were they in Star Allies? Or is it Popons that are in Star Allies? This area, like this is just like a kind of a freakish ability here. This area also has like background enemies. I think these are called gloms. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna combine him, and this makes a funny ability. You become an exploding chili. I just love his walk cycle is so silly. You can't detonate it preemptively though. That's weird. Why did I think you could? It detonates it automatically when you go through a door though. Not preemptively, should I say? Preemptively is not the right word. Prematurely. These waterfalls actually have like a push down effect, even though it looks like they're in front of you. And I think they actually are like quite a distance in front of the Kirby model, but they push down on you. Okay, I hate ticks. I am correct though that this is the right stage you have to use this ability in, right? So if you're at full health, she'll give you a 1-up. If you're not, she'll give you a Maxim Tomato. That's just it. Although I think there's some instances where she paints you a sandwich. That could be wrong. Yes, this is the right area. Little checkerboard dude down here. These fish aren't gonna hurt me, thankfully. And that's the last shard of the stage. Those enemies in the clouds are actually called Zeus. Like Z-O-O-S. Not like the actual, like, god Zeus, but, you know. And we're done. Yeah, I just caught the edge of it. I was like, oh no! I should not be having this ability anymore. But this is the first of the Waddle Dee sections of the game. And there's a few of these. Like there was kind of one earlier where you had to, where he brought you across on the little moving bridge bit. But in this one, and there's another one later. There's two other ones later actually. There's one on Neo Star and one on Shiver Star, where you're like riding in a thing with him. Okay, this is a supremely dangerous ability, actually. That thing, like, it, like, nukes the whole screen, basically. And if it contacts an enemy when you throw it, and you don't press down to put the hard hat on, like, you'll take damage. So that's why I'm not going to use it. There is one stage on Neo Star that you actually need. Coincidentally, the same stage with the Waddle Dee segment on it. I think that you need the you need that attack. Just a funny little thing I like to do with my friends. I'm not sure if I need a specific ability for this level either. I'm just hoping I don't. You know, but speaking of, and I talk about this on Twitter already, but speaking of patches, And I'm not opposed to like the printed textile patches, like the sublimated ones that you can get pretty cheap. But there's this one Nocturnus one I got from Hell's Headbangers that just, like, it sucks. Like, it completely destroys the artwork, and yes, I need the volcano for this. Can I leave and come back? I don't think I can leave and come back. Does this seal up? Oh no, because this I have to go do this segment. So rather than just complete the level all over again, with the volcano power-up, I'll just do this, the raft section, finish the level, and then come back and do that. There is another shard in this section, right? Like the last one? Yeah, there we go. Then we don't have to worry. I'll go back and I'll get the thing with the volcano, and then I'll just hit try again and leave the level. No penalties. But it's a very quick game. You know, I'm already basically halfway through the game at this point. So I said it was a 4-hour game. I meant more like a 2.5-hour game. I guess 4-hour game if you're not totally sure on what you're doing and you have to backtrack a lot. Because it is a very slow-paced game. Here's something else that's strange about this is that most of the Kirby games use like the same invincibility music. This game doesn't. Oh, this is the last shard. Is this the stage with the pointy logs in it? Or no, that's the next one, right? Oh no, it is this stage. It is this stage, it's just the next room. I would prefer to only do this room once, which is... Well, I'm not gonna, you know, play through the stage again. Oh, I was trying to duck to get away from the Bronto Burt, and then that happened. You can hold Bronto Burts over your head, and they can fly away. Thanks. Take it right in the face from the Galbo there. I did lie about the animal friends not being in this game, just a little bit. The animal friends are in this game, but they're part of the stone and cutter power-up, which is, it's a little bit strange. But I'll explain it when I get to it. I think it's the next stage that has it. But we're gonna miss the enemy info card, and we're going to go to the other, what do you call it? You know, here's the thing is that OBS Studio actually lets me. It lets me, what do you call it? Ugh, am I lost for words? It lets me see the stream information and the chat and everything for this, but it doesn't let me actually see like the stream health and stuff. I just have to check that briefly. It seems like it's going okay. Okay. Oh no. No, it's not this stage that you need it for. Is it Neo Star stage? No, it's gotta be this Aqua Star stage. Or it could be this stage. This is the beach level, right? Well, it's the beach level. Look at the picture. But we do want... Yeah, this is the one that needs the rock cutter combo. Which we can get in this stage, I'm fairly sure. There's gotta be one of those rocky enemies in there. Not rocky, the cairn enemies. We're gonna go back here. We're gonna combine fire and rock and get the volcano. assuming there is a fire and rock in this stage. I don't see one immediately, so I'm gonna go back to Popstar. I tend to do this like when I need an ability combination. I go back to Popstar and I go to the forest stage because a lot of the abilities are right here in this first room. And if not, then I think all of them are within the first 2 rooms. We can grab the cairn here and combine him with the Bobo here. Now we get the... This is a pretty cool ability, actually. Head back over here. Get the guide off my screen. I'm actually so glad I have a 2-monitor setup now, because it lets me do this, and hopefully I'll be able to stream more N64 games, or just console games in general. I never really thought to set it up until now, but like now I've got it set up and it, you know, everything works. This leaves it as an option, leaves it open as an option. Oh, well, there's the cairn there. Let me guess, there's a Bobo down here that I forgot about. Or some other, like, no, Bobos are the only fire enemy in this game. Are they? No. The Burnus. The Burnus. That's what they're called. Burnus, the flame bird, is also a fire enemy, but you don't encounter them until much later. When I say much later, then they're gonna show up like next stage. I don't think you encounter them until Neostar. Yeah, here's the Bobo. Anyway, doesn't matter. You have to carry rock through that room then. But does this allow you to do this? Yeah. Yeah, get it. I was on the spawn point and preventing him from spawning. There's a sandwich at the top of this little volcano. It's kind of shaped like a volcano too. I mean, that's a stretch, but we shaped like a variety of other things as well. Yeah. So we don't need to actually continue in this stage. What am I doing? But yeah, so we have to just remember Rock and Cutter in this stage. Is there a sandwich at the start? No. Ugh. This stage also marks the return of the spiked logs from last stage, so not really like they're returning, they're more of just, they're back again. Hold on, was that a Sir Kibble there? What did you kill? What did I kill accidentally? Move far enough off screen. Guess not. Guess I'm not gonna see it. Can I go back now? There was an enemy on top of this hill that I killed, and I don't know what it was. Oh, it was probably just a cha-cha like this. There are some limits actually to the virtual console, like the Wii. Like if you can play with a Wiimote. It's the virtual console and the what do you call it? Virtual console and the Dream Collection version of this game. Like if you play with the Wiimote, there are some limitations. I'm not sure if you play it with like the Wii Pro controller, there's probably some differences, and you can do this. But if you use the C buttons, and you can use the like L and R to like throw them upward, and I don't think you can do that on the Wii version. It really is. It's just a port. It's not even a port. It's like an emulation. It is an emulation. What am I talking about? Elephant Sandcastle Zone. You know, there's a playground near me that has like one of those playground elephants. Like that's probably from about the 70s. I like how they just stop and then go back in. And that thing always reminds me of it. I have a little bit of a a fondness for playgrounds with like old weird equipment in them. And they seem to be like, probably because they're not safe, a lot of them. They seem to be like removing a lot of them. Like those little springy bouncy things with like the creepy like ducks and horses on them. I think there's only one park in this neighborhood that still has one of those, but they used to be in like literally every one of them. There's a big like circular dome swing set at another park nearby that they took out, and they took out most of the playground equipment from that park. There's like nothing in it anymore. I need a rock. I want a rock. Where I wanted to go? Does this needs two different abilities in this level, does it? I can't get back out of this room. That sucks. Oh no, this puts me back out. Okay, so I just have to find the bomb. Was there a bomb at the start of this room, or is it like later? I have such like bad short-term memory. It's like I'm just killing these enemies. If I step on any of the ones underneath the Gordos here, it'll push me into them. Okay, well, this is the one for the stone cutter. Like this, that's what I need this for, right? It's the first shard requires cutter bomb combo. Section 3, there will also be a mountain-like figure with an entrance on top. That's it. Yeah. Okay, so what okay, this is, yeah, see what I'm talking about? So there must have been a bomb dude at the start of this area that I forgot about. By forgot about, I mean, probably killed and didn't do anything for. Can I go to the last room? I can. Thank God. Okay, so here's a bomb guy. I'm gonna see how well I can combine the ability. There's another one at the start of this room. These fish give you bomb, right? Not these ones. Or do I have to obtain the bomb from another stage? Can I just go back? Is there a bomb in this stage that I missed? Please. I think the strategy is you have to collect bomb first and then use the kapar over there for the cutter. I'm just gonna hit try again, honestly, because I don't know. And I'm not gonna go look for it. Not on that stage anyway. So here's the Poppy Brothers. Poppy Bro, singular. You have the Shuriken again. And now I can scratch my back and then pop back over to Aquastar. Good. They kind of freeze and surprise when you hit them. Gotcha, I didn't, but... a little bit comical. I do have 10 extra lives. By the end of this, I'll probably have like 20. The only reason I have the guide open really is just to minimize backtracking, because I don't want this to last for 5 million years. Not to say this game isn't fun or worth playing. Yeah, there's no bomb in this stage. You'd have to combine that with the exploding fish at the end of this, I think. And that's annoying. Like this one here. All right, so we're gonna go in here. We're going to attack this thing, blow it up, get the shard out of this. I'm gonna collect the Maxim tomato. And I'm gonna throw this away. I'm gonna eat the cairn and get my rock ability, which I'm going to try not to use too much. Actually, I want to... I don't know. You can do something funny with them. Is like, you can make them fall apart. If you, like, inhale them and like, throw them. But there's a cutter mini-boss. Like, there's a big Kapar mini-boss in the middle of the stage. It's kind of weird because this game doesn't... Oh, I guess I could combine it with one of these. I don't want to... That. He should spawn little ones, right? Oh no, he spawns bumbers. I thought you'd be able to combine it with he spawned little mini. None of that happened. Okay? I'm gonna make this easy. I'm gonna make this easy. Game's kicking my butt. Oh, stop running this way. Okay, screw you. I'll stream Kirby 64, I said. It'll be fun, I said. Okay, we don't need you. Actually combine them like right here. They have both of them. So this actually allows me to demonstrate. So it's kind of random which one you get. I got Choo Choo here. And none of them really have too much of a use. Like Koo can fly and Pitch can as well. Kind does actually nothing. You think that Kind would do something in the water, but he does nothing actually. Yeah, it's random. We got Nego here, and he just kind of like slowly walks around. Oh, he can do his little funny ball jumps. But who are we gonna get? Are we gonna get Pitch or Rick next? Like as the next new one? Come on, you're just cycling through the same ones. Takes forever. Come on. Okay, and one of the things that Rick could do in his prior appearances is he can climb walls, and you need him for that one. And it's like the most like obtuse one in the whole game, because like unless you know that from previous Kirby games, you wouldn't even think to do that, because the shard is up like, as you saw like briefly. Okay, this is actually probably the best use of it. Of this ability is because Pitch flies really fast. He still has the limit on him, because he'll just go back down to gliding like this, but he moves through levels really fast, like in terms of flying. This actually might be, I don't know, is this speedrun? Is this speedrun strat? It would seem like it is. Like he just blazes through it. But yeah, unless you knew that from previous Kirby game, you wouldn't even know to do it. because the shard is up too high for you to float, which is really the only limitation part of the game that it actually like physically limits you in. Also, getting from here to the end of the stage with this ability is going to be annoying because I can't just kill enemies. I'm going to have to avoid them for the most part because it just takes too long. I could do that. Or alternatively, I could cycle through these and hope for pitch. Coup works too, but Coup only doesn't fly very fast. But I don't want to sit at the start of each room waiting to see if I get pitched just so I can run through it. Which is probably why it's not an optimal speedrunning strat. As fast as he does move. I'm actually wondering if he moves too much faster than Kirby does on his own. He definitely flies faster than Kirby does. Like, way faster. Okay, so we don't have to worry about the abilities for the rest of this level. It's just keep this one. Don't die. There's no bottomless pits I can fall into, so we're good. Actually, are there any bottomless pits in? Oh yeah, I guess in the water stages, in like the cavern stage earlier. But I was like, is there any like during the falling bones section? But I was like, is there any like actual bottomless pits in this game until Neostar? It's kind of funny, and I'll talk about it when I get to it. But Neostar was actually the first area of the game I played. No, I've already been in here. Oh, I have to fall all the way down. Anytime it puts you in one of those little cutscenes, it forces you out of whatever ability state you're in. You know what's weird is that this game, the N64 is like kind of weird and experimental. Nintendo likes to do weird experimental things all the time, but the N64's controller is like infamously like strange. And this game, you don't use the joystick at all. You use the what do you call it? The gamepad? The D-pad, that's it. Just give me a second here. To go grab my water bottle. I'm so used to clicking back over to the game after I like mute my microphone like that, but because this is in like a different window. It's not even in a different window. It's not on my computer at all. Okay, so now we're gonna pick this one up. This is very tricky because if you have that ability, you have to like fight him in close quarters. Like, yes, you have to use the ability to break this, but it's like, well, how would I do this, right? Because you actually can't use it by floating. Get it by floating? Like, I'm way too short of it. Means you have to wait. See if you get Rick. Oh, got him on second try. And this is tedious, because you actually have to time it, otherwise you fall, like, straight down. And you can't just match it. It's, like, this rhythm. Okay, you can go a little bit faster. There we go. Most annoying shard of the game done. These platforms are strange because, like, you think that they'd fall the instant you step on them, but it actually kind of freezes you in place for a second when they fall. It's like and then it prevents you from jumping. It's like the game can't handle doing the movement of these things and allowing you to move at the same time. It has to put you in like a weird cutscene state. Ugh. Okay, at least I got crushed by that and not pushed all the way back. What an annoying room, like, actually. Definitely annoying. This is the big underwater one. Do you need a special thing for this? Oh, okay. This just has like an area that pushes you through a stream in. I wonder if you can clear this level faster just by falling with the rock ability. I'm gonna stick with this because if I get actually I wonder, like, Kind does nothing, right? I know Pitch can like navigate the water like really easily. Pitch is like the most useful out of these. Like, Kind doesn't do anything, does he? In the water? Because Kind is useful like only in the water in Dreamland 3. And I don't think I've ever thought to do this. Pitch works in the water. Oh, come on, please give me Kind. I don't actually know, like, because it's spelled K-I-N-E. K-I-N-E. And Kind, I think, is the official pronunciation, but, like, the first time you look at it, you're like, should that be Kine? I know that was one of those things that nope, he cannot do anything. I know that was one of those things that I always thought about. Like, was that the original intended pronunciation? I don't know what like the actual spelling in Japanese is for his name, so it could actually be Kind. I just know because I have an E at the end of my last name, and it's a Japanese last name too. And you pronounce the E at the end of my last name. You don't pronounce it as an E, though. You pronounce it as an A, like an A sound. And a lot of people don't actually say it properly. Like, I get people who pronounce it as Hamad, which I understand because that's also a pretty popular last name. But that's like more of like an Arabic last name, and sometimes it's romanized like the same way. So it's strange because like my last name is it's a fairly common Japanese last name, and it's usually romanized as Hamada. But you know, depending on, I guess, the immigrations officer that you were talking to and filling out your paperwork, you know, it could be spelled a variety of different ways. It's pronounced Hamade, but there's a shard in this room, isn't there? At the top, right? Top left, I should say. Top correct? Oh, top middle. Okay, we'll sit on this platform and hope that I get... Give me Pitch, please. I can sit here. Sorry, Kind. There we go. That doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't they like let you use Kind in the water to float against the current? That's just silly. So yeah, Hamade, got that a lot. Everything, like all your animations are slowed down in the water. It's so silly. Does this generates one of those little sparky guys on it too, doesn't it? I'm just gonna grab this and then I'm gonna throw this power away. Or no, do you know what? There's another area that needs this. Well, it doesn't need it, but it'd be helpful in. Is it in this stage? Like, is it like the next room in this stage? This, I don't know, maybe the colors and everything in this room, it reminds me of that one really silly level in Donkey Kong Country 3. Not this room, the last room. Oh yeah, the stream actually pushes you around this room. What is that? It's that really silly stage that reverses your controls. Does this area not give you a shard? Or is it like... It's kind again. Sorry, I know your habitat is the water, but you're just like... You're not useful right now. Okay, yeah, is this area that I want... Thank you! You were the first one! Because, everything moves really fast in this area. And... I guess ironically, you're going to use pitch to slow it down. And there's a shard that you can miss in one of these little alcoves here. I think it's in one of the alcoves. And if you miss it, you have to just like start the stage again. It's also nice because you're invincible during this, and all the rocks coming and hitting your butt, they're not going to hurt you. There it is. This is like a fake auto scroller section, so like oop. Oop. Well, you know what? You almost had me outsmarted. Oh. Come on. No, not kind. Thank you. This is silly Gordo here. There we go. Yeah, I can get out of that now. And be done with this stage. Very violent, they just hit the wall there. Get more stars. I really recommend you check out that Beta 64 video on this. Like, after you're done this stream, or after you're done watching this, or if you're watching on YouTube, you can pause it, go watch that Beta 64 video right now, because it's really good on showing the background of this. I'm gonna get something else to fight Acro with. This Acro sucks, just because his fight is underwater. Acro is actually a boss that's returning from oh. Yeah, bomb is fine. Or I should get double bomb missile. It's funny because missile is like another power up, but it's in Amazing Mirror, but it's not the same. It's not the same power. It's like you turn into a literal missile. Oh gosh, I should play Amazing Mirror on this on the stream. Not this stream, but I should play Amazing Mirror. It's really good. Probably one of my favorite Kirby games, I think. It's so different from the other Kirby games. So the first phase of Acro here is actually his second phase from Kirby's Dream Land 3. And the second phase just does something new. Ugh. I hate swimming in this game. It's like the primary area that this game sucks in. These are like heat-seeking missiles. Kind of. They seek out the whatever's gonna do damage to you. So like whatever it sees as an enemy. So even like the little projectiles it's gonna think are enemies. Alright, he falls to the ground and he breaks the floor. And this is actually our first like proper auto-scroller section, I think. Because the rest of the stage is actually, like the rest of the boss stage is actually an auto-scroller. It pushes the screen down. And he comes up at the bottom. But the second phase of this is actually a lot easier than the first. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna die just because I'm gonna take one hit of damage. Because the sluggish controls, you're not really hindered by them too much. And it actually does kind of push you up. Oof. Get away from the explosion. And the explosion, like, lingers, too. Oof! Okay. That sucks. I thought that maybe using double bomb against him would be a good idea, but, we could try something else. I just, like, I hate this fight in Dreamland 3, and I hate this fight in this game. Just because of the swing. What's this again? Oh, fireworks. That'd be interesting to use. Just basically mash B. And aside from the Gordos, it'll kill his projectiles. Yeah, there we go. There's a little bit of a cooldown on this because like there's like 3 big fireworks. There's like the first one, the second one, then the third one, and then you gotta wait to reload the first, like the smaller firework again. But if you just wait, you can just do the smaller firework again. It's just like a small amount of time you gotta wait on it. Of course, everything's slowed down in the water. But I think because everything's slowed down in the water, the hitboxes from this actually, like, they stay behind. Yeah, see, look at that. And he just swims right through them. There we go. I'll have to remember that. Like I never thought of using firework on that boss before. But I guess I'll have to remember that. So onwards to Neostar. I'm going to get a drink of water. Neostar. This is where the game actually gets a little bit harder. I just gotta search to make sure I don't have. So all the everything is in like a good position stage. I don't need anything for that. I don't think. Walkthrough is incomplete. You gotta open up the IGN walkthrough, which was last updated in 2007. 2007! The heck? Scroll down and... Okay, I don't think you need any combination abilities until you need the TNT. The dynamite, I think, is its proper name. This was the first stage of this game I played, because when I rented it, this was as far as it was completed, and I just started playing. And comparatively, this is a little bit more difficult of a stage. I like fireworks because there's these pitfalls in this stage. That's not one, but there's one here. Is there one here? Or is it here? Or is it after the little punji pit here? Oh, there it is. This is the first one to sort of demonstrate what it is. But, like, there's another one here. It opens into, like, spikes. And as you can see, like, you know, for... How old was I? I must have been, like, 5 or 6. Yeah, I was 6 when this game came out, so I was probably about 6 or 7 when I... You know, no, I must have been 7, because I was in 2nd grade. The GameCube was a new system, but I still had an N64, and that was what I played. I remember being in 2nd grade, because, I don't know, my mom liked to play this game as well. And she got up to... I remember going home for lunch, and she said, yeah, I got up to the boss of World 5, and he was... And I asked, oh man, what is it? You know, so cool. Like, what is the boss? And she described him as a big robot that shot lasers and bombs. And so I remember I did a drawing based on that description, and it was nothing what HRH looks like. Because he's not really a conventional looking robot. I just kind of drew him as, like, you know, proper cartoon robot. I have a pretty solid memory of that. I don't think I've really thought about that until now, but I have a very solid memory of doing that. Second grade. I don't know, like, a lot of people, they talk about childhood. This is a conversation everyone my age is having. But like, a lot of people refer to it as like, oh, there's a shard in this room. They're not? Okay, no, is it in the next room? I remember the first time I tried to do like a playthrough of this, like a let's play of it, I got lost on this shard because it was like hidden. I got lost on one of the shards on this stage because it was hidden. A lot of people, you know, my age range, when they talk about childhood, I think they generally mean, like, they include like middle school and high school in there too. And I mean, like, yeah, that's still technically childhood, I guess, but like, even that stuff, like, I know it's been forever since then. By forever I mean, you know, over a decade since then. Like, I started high school 11, 12 years ago or something like that. Oh, here it is. Kind of concealed by the leaves here. But like, it doesn't seem like that long. Even like middle school, like, I started middle school in 2005. And even that, I still remember that very clearly. My memory's a little bit hazy of stuff like kindergarten and first grade. But I remember second grade onward pretty well, but like from the start of middle school up until now still feels like pretty much the same to me. Like, there's no... I missed the first 2 shards of this stage. How did I do that? Oh, one of them is in one of these pitfalls, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know. Like one of the first like things I can still remember really clearly was choosing my middle school. I don't know how normal that is in other places. I can only speak, you know, for myself, but the middle school choosing process was like, because there's two, and in the one that's in my, you know, as they say, catchment area, the one that I was supposed to go to, was the one I didn't want to go to, and it was not the one my friends were going to. So I remember, like, we were going to, like, the open houses for that. The other one's down here. Gosh. Hidden. This is the stage you need dynamite for. So, just to make sure, I know you can get it, like, in that stage. Probably. But I'm going to grab it from here just because it's right at the start. Like, this is sort of like the go-to room. Like, there's no museums in this game, but this is pretty much like the go-to for your abilities and your ability combinations, because I actually think everything you can get is within the first couple rooms of this. Yeah, I think the only one that's missing from that first room is the ice ability. Or no, Needle's not in that first room. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, like the open houses for the... Is there a... There... I feel like there's something here. There it is. It's like, it's at the start here. I'm not sure if like floating is on a timer or is dependent on how many times you like hit the button. So here's the second Wall D segment of the game. The on rails section, I should say. This is a minecart. There's a shard on this one as well. I was gonna say I like this because it reminds me of Donkey Kong Country, but you know, okay, there it is. I should have known. Because it is very Donkey Kong Country. Oh yeah, when you come back to levels after you've gotten all the shards from them, all the shards like that you've gotten are replaced with those like mega stars, and they give you like a big chunk of points at the bottom that you can go towards an extra life. Like obviously this is very Donkey Kong Country. Like you can't have Donkey Kong Country without minecarts. Or minecart-like stages. And that seems to be clearly what this is inspired by. How did I can't believe that. You know what? I'm sure on my Let's Play, my old Let's Play on my old channel, I did that. I made that exact same mistake. And by mistake, it's not really a mistake. It's just like, well, it is a mistake because I pressed it too early. This is the first stage you actually get like the proper like Neostar theme. It doesn't play during the first stage. It's the overworld theme does. That's a little bit weird. Yeah, just a little short hop there. The dynamic camera is so cool. If it does make it a little bit tense and hard to see. You see what I'm talking about like set pieces in this game? It's a lot more dependent on that than just having rooms you go through. So I'm gonna try to avoid actually using my ability at all in this room, just because if it touches an enemy, it will detonate immediately, and the enemies have pretty big hitboxes. Well, unlike other Kirby games, like there's a lot to admire about like the pixel art and backgrounds and stuff of other Kirby games, but I feel like the scenery in this one is just so much more rich and interesting to look at because it's like actual geometry and locations rather than everything just sort of functioning as a background. Like it looks more like you're actually looking at like a proper location than you are looking at like a single strip of ground that you walk across, which a lot of the modern Kirby games do. It's just like a little single strip of ground, and yes, there's some foreground and background elements, but this is like, you enter this and it's like a whole room. There's water currents on the ground if you can't tell. It is kind of hard to tell unless you like look, because the directional animation on this is a little bit hard to see. This is intended to be played on a CRT TV. It'll look a little bit less fuzzy on there. Over the canies. Please don't make me redo this stage. Holy crap, Kapars can jump high. Please don't make me redo this stage. Thank you. Little goblin dude. I don't even remember what those are called. The thing with the fingers on its head. Okay. We're waiting it out. It feels like it takes a lot longer. I guess in areas with like more geometry in the background and more enemies, it takes longer to detonate on its own because of, well, anyway. Forgot this happens. Yeah, this is the part you need it for. And you know what? I can throw it away now because it's dangerous. But you know, Dreamland 3, which is obviously the precursor to this game, it was like panned upon release, or at least it was seen less favorably than Superstar. And I think people don't quite understand the reason why, and it is because the development was separate, and that Dreamland 3 was not intended to be a follow-up to Superstar. It was intended to be a follow-up to Dreamland 2, which has a very different feel, operates differently than Superstar does. Superstar is much more of an action-oriented game. Like, okay, it's, and I can say this because I have ADHD. It's the ADHD Kirby game. It's the Kirby game with no focus, all action, because there is no one game mode in that game. It's like a whole bunch of different game modes. So there's no main campaign. There's a reason it was called Kirby's Fun Pack in Europe. And it's so much more action-oriented. Kirby has like proper move sets for all of his abilities. So like, it depends on the direction that you're pressing when you use the abilities. And that's something I really like, and they've brought it back recently, in like the newer phase of games. There was actually no Kirby console games between this and Return to Dreamland, and that's like a 10-year gap. But there were handheld ones. There was Nightmare in Dreamland, which was a remake of Kirby's Adventure, just with tighter controls and everything like that. And do I need a power for this stage? I know this is the stage you have to hit the blocks in, similar to, there's a puzzle in Dreamland 3 that's like that. Okay, yes, I need Spike for this. Needle. I can combine them. Fine. Oh no, do I need the actual the thing because it's an orange floor, right? So what I can do is I can combine this with the cairn over here to get the drill. The freaking the demo, like not like the gameplay demo, but like the gameplay demo. The thing that plays during the start screen actually shows this. So I don't know why that didn't cross my mind. There we go. And then following up Nightmare in Dreamland using the same engine and a lot of the same sprites is Amazing Mirror, which is actually like it's a Metroidvania. And not like I'm not like saying that like jokingly, like how I joke sometimes Banjo-Tooie is a Metroidvania. But like no, it's actually like a true Metroidvania. Where like the entire map is interconnected and you have to go back to certain areas with certain things in order to progress. It's strange. And if you like that kind of gameplay, I guess you'd probably like Metroidvania games. I still need to play Metroid. I've never played a Metroid game in my life. Not to completion anyway. I've played some of Super Metroid and some of the original. But I've never finished Metroid. But I did like what I did play of Super Metroid. I should probably get on that. But it is much more of like a serious game that you have to like sit down and commit to. But there's other games like I like Hollow Knight a lot. I was originally gonna record a Let's Play of it, but something you can do about these guys. But I kind of got sidetracked to that, so I might stream it. The problem is they've added so much extra stuff to it since then, and they've announced a sequel too. I don't know. It's like, what is this with these indie Knight games like that just add a whole bunch of content, like Shovel Knight, Hollow Knight, you know? I should stream the Shovel Knight expansion packs when really they're completely free editions with brand new campaigns. Which is just silly. Okay, so we got the top hat. And you gotta, like, make this into a top hat. I think you can leave the room and try again. I don't remember how low it has to be, if it has to be... Ooh. I think we're gonna have to leave and try again. If it's just like the brim is just the bottom one. I think we're gonna try that. The one that usually gives me is the umbrella. There's also the pizza, and that one's kind of annoying. Probably the more annoying one. The most annoying one. Okay, so you just have to go in one. I thought you had to go in two. There's a puzzle in Dreamland 3 that's exactly like this. Because in Dreamland 3 you basically have to do these little missions for characters, like individual characters in each of the stages. And there's one where it's like this funny little alien dude that wants you to match his shape with the blocks. But yeah, Amazing Mirror is a really good game. It's the only one I can think of like the main series Kirby games that has a soundtrack that isn't done by Jun Ishikawa or Hirokazu Ando. It's done by like a different like composition team. And it's a really good soundtrack too. It's not Kirby sounding. It doesn't sound like Kirby aside from the tracks it borrows from the other Kirby games. But it's a really good soundtrack, and I'm glad that they've used elements of it in other games as well. And then Squeak Squad, I've never finished. Squeak Squad and Robobot are the two like main series Kirby games I never finished. Also, these blocks spell Kirby. I should probably get on that. It took me a while to get a copy of Squeak Squad though. Oh, also there's a shard down here. There's a shard in one of these pits. Is it in this area? Hold on, let me just check. Okay, so I'm gonna flip back across this pit, and because I think I missed the shard. If I can flip back across this pit. Yeah, it's like buried in like one of the holes here. There it is. And the reason I didn't play Squeak Squad is because it was hard for me to find a copy. Like it's like fairly expensive, all things considered. They did do a virtual console version on the Wii U, and that's where I played some of it. But I finally actually got a copy. It cost me $35. Not nearly as much as I paid for Dreamland 3 though. That was $75. Although probably gaming stores are probably charging a lot more for it now. I went to my local like retro game store, and I'm not gonna blame the employees there, but like it's a larger franchise, which, you know, it's not just like one little operation. Now they have like 3 different locations, even though it is a local business. Do I need a combination for this next stage? Oh, this is the one that isn't color-coded. This is the annoying one. You need ice for this stage. Yeah, this one puzzled me. Ice isn't actually a really easy ability to come by, like, right off the bat until, like, the later, like, until Shiver Star. You can get it in the second room here, though. I wanna be Snowball, though. I'm sure there's an ice ability in that level. I just want to have it for sure. And I went to the used game store. I'm not gonna mention it just because, you know, you can like throw them and they fall apart. And I was looking at the prices. And stuff. They're charging like $50 for a copy of Donkey Kong Country on the SNES. I'm like, that's absurd. I don't know like price charting what it actually like properly goes for now, but they're obviously overcharging for profit. I got my copy for $20. The one I paid more for was Donkey Kong Country 2. That one's a little bit more sought after. I want to make the snowball. I think I paid $30 for Donkey Kong Country 2, but like, and the funny thing is they had them complete in box as well for like $67, $68. I'm like, you'd probably be better off just spending a little bit extra and getting it in the box. Like, come on. The most amount I've ever spent for like a cartridge was Kirby's Dream Land 3, because it is one of my favorite games, and I paid about $75 for it. But understandably so, because it is a harder cartridge to come across. They didn't manufacture as many of them, because it was the last game on the system. I like the sense of progression in this too, because it's like you're always like throughout each of the worlds, it's like you're moving up to something. Like you started out in like the jungle, and then you went to the caverns, and now you're like outside of a volcano, and the boss of this world is a big lava monster with a funny face. Here's the Burnus, the other fire enemy in the game. This has 2 auto-scroller areas in this level, and they're annoying. Little heart in the middle of this. And so yeah, I never played Weak Squad. I play a bit of it. I haven't finished it, but I have a copy now, and I should probably do that because I like what I played of it. There's a lot of elements from Amazing Mirror that I like that they have in that. They have a few of the ability combinations, like you can get like Fire Sword in that one. There's a gimmick with like the lower screen is Kirby's stomach, and you can combine the things that he inhales. It's a little bit weird. Nothing like watching a not so well known streamer play some good old Kirby. Well, thank you for dropping by. Usually I don't play Kirby. Usually I play Doom. But Doom and Kirby are my 2 favorite game franchises. There's a shard in one of these, I think. I won't take too much damage. But there was like a sort of 10-year Kirby shortage because there were only like two new games in like the mainline series between 2000, like between when this game came out and when Return to Dreamland came out. Is it this top? No, it's the top of the middle one here. It's a really chunky, gross noise it makes when you hit them. It's like grr, grr. And then since then, we've had like four main series games in the like the decade since. So I don't know. Hold on. We have Return to Dreamland, Triple Deluxe, Robobot, and Star Allies. Yeah, 4. Is this where the... No, it plays a little thing, and then it gives you the chase sequence. Where the big lava wall chases you. And then the next one is like rising lava section. It's sort of a section that's kind of mirrored in the factory level of Shiver Star. Is you know, it's first a horizontal section avoiding this particular hazard, and it's a vertical section avoiding that same sort of particular hazard. This one, it's a lava wall that chases you horizontally, and then the next room after that, I think it's the next room after that, is the lava thing chasing you vertically. In the factory, it's crushers that you have to avoid on a horizontal plane. Hey, there's like a face there in the background. Like the texture there, it's kind of like a face. Never noticed that before. And then the next room after that is you have to avoid the crushers vertically. Here, this is like it's brown and red. You'd think I need the volcano power up. No. Is that the only instance where the color coding just isn't right in that game? In this game? In this game, the one I am playing currently right now. Yeah, this is the lava wall section. Rolling, 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 rolling. You hate that shard? Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. That and the one that you have to use Stone and Cutter for on Aquastar to get Rick the hamster out of it. I think those are probably two of the more obtuse shards in the game. I didn't really need that, but here's the Metroid section. There's a shard on the left. Yeah. I say Metroid section because you have to go up this while being chased by a hazard. Kind of like the escape part. That was probably a bad ability to use. But there we go. Good. Yeah, now we're on to Mogman, who I am going to fight. It's like just before the boss, I have to like duck out of a stage to go get a better ability. I want to get Fire Sword for this. Okay, good. I didn't want and Star Kibble to pop there. Because Fire Sword is like it does passive damage. And Mogman is kind of a weird boss because he starts in the background here. And he has like little tentacles. You can do this. Oops. I was doing so well. I think this is definitely like probably the most like environmental hazard boss in the game. I mean, Acro is pretty bad as well, but like everything, like the ceiling there will hurt you, the ground there will hurt you. The second phase Mogman himself touching him will hurt you. And you actually have to hit his like mouth here. Can't quite jump there. I'm never quite sure, like, where his hitbox is. Finish that and then hit him there. Good. The arena is, like, it's so creepy and dark. So, quick little question, when do you think another Kirby game will come out? If you could make a Kirby plot/villain, what would they be? I don't know. I think that, well, there's probably gonna be another like main series Kirby game coming out, like probably within the next few years. Unless they really want to sit on and let Star Allies sit for a while. But if I really wanted, like, my ideal next Kirby game would be another one with dark matter in it. Like I'd want that, and I basically want like a proper follow-up to this. I like what Star Allies does, but I want the ability combination stuff brought back, and I want like proper ability combinations, and I would like hopefully some form of dark matter or something, just because I like it. Also, the thing that you notice here is that this planet here, Shiver Star, is Earth. If you look at the texture on it, it's a lot of weird environmental storytelling here. Is that this is like clearly Earth, in the picture there. Lots of people, like, Kirby lore speculation is that it's like Earth after climate catastrophe and ice age, day after tomorrow situation. It's pretty dark, but it's not really like the first time that Kirby would be like going into a dark angle. The dark matter games specifically do that a lot, but like, oh yeah, curling puck is one of those things that they brought back in Star Allies. I thought that was really funny. I know it's not a puck, it's a curling stone, is what it is. That's its proper name. I should know this as a Canadian, and winter sports being a proud tradition. You need a combination for one of the rooms in here, don't you? Find out when we get to it. I wasn't sure what to do there. There's just so many of these pterodactyls, they suck. Get out of here. Like, people like to joke about Kirby being like, oh, well, you know, I like the fridge reference within the artist ability. Yeah, I actually mentioned that like right at the start of the stream. It's funny. There's a lot of little neat references to Kirby 64 and Star Allies. But like there's always sort of the joke that people have is like, and Kirby game is cute, but like the final boss is Kirby has to kill God, and like that's sort of like a joke to an extent. Like they are always sort of like, well, not always. They sometimes are. Most of the time, sort of like these unfathomable demonic entities. Kind of starting with in the second game in Kirby's Adventure with Nightmare. And of course, being a recurring thing in the games with dark matter in it. And I guess marks to an extent. Oh, I need. And they continued on similar themes, I guess, in some of the other games, like in Amazing Mirror. The funny thing that Amazing Mirror does actually is, I need double ice for this, don't I? Right? The funny thing that Amazing Mirror does is that it's like, it's, you know, it's sort of a mirror world, so it has a mirror version of Nightmare and a mirror version of Dark Matter, both of which are called Dark Mind, but like they're clearly, that's what they are. Hold on. Oh no, this is the double burning one. Okay, I should have known from that other stage. You gotta melt it. Oh. I go this one. But I think Nightmare will ever come back. You know, I thought that maybe they might put him in another game while the anime was running, because he was like the main bad guy in the anime, which is weird because even at that point, like in the I need double burn. Even at that point in the game's history, Nightmare was like he was a one-off villain in the games. He still is. So I thought they might put him in another game, but you know, he's only in Adventure / Nightmare in Dreamland, which is, I think they're the same game. But Nightmare in Dreamland was like that was like the promo game for the anime. It's a little bit weird like that. The artwork on the box for Nightmare in Dreamland is actually just like some of the promotional copy stuff from the anime. Which is weird. Like it's like artwork from the anime and not specifically from the game. It's not a very good cover. It's just Kirby in a fighter's outfit and Meta Knight on the cover. It's not very exciting. But then like the whole joke about Kirby killing God is like it's in Star, like that is Star Out, like it's literally him killing the god of like a cult. It's so weird. I thought that was so funny. Because I mean, people throw on the word Lovecraftian and stuff in terms of talking about sort of like the nebulous evil entities that are like the true final bosses of the Kirby games. Not all of them, but like most of them. But like that was like the first time it was like explicit, like Kirby is killing something that is worshipped as a god. I don't know, there's just something funny about that to me. Like the final boss thing is you fight, well the whole throughout the game you fight cult members, then you fight the cult leader, and then you fight the entity they worship. There we go. If I stand on this side, okay. Okay. Mission failed. Mission complete with getting the shard, though. Lots of Christmas trees, snowmen in the background. I'm actually kind of surprised that the ice water doesn't hurt you. You'd think it would. That's almost kind of like video game staple. You step in the ice water and it acts kind of like lava. Something that always bothered me though was like when I was a kid and I played this game, it's like the lava in this game, when you touch the lava, it just deals 1 bit of damage to you. But I was used to like Mario games, and in Mario games, you touch the lava, you die. Geez, I don't think there's too many of these in this game. But it's I don't know, like I've played a lot of the Kirby games. I've played some of the spin-offs, like not that I actually own a copy, but I have played some of like Dream Course and Kirby Tilt and Tumble. You know, kind of like the weird ones. They do that. They have like the main series ones, and then they have sort of the side experimental ones. Like they have Canvas Curse, Rainbow Curse, Epic Yarn, which is actually like kind of like its own thing. Kirby's Epic Yarn is more like there's Epic Yarn, then there's Yoshi's Woolly World, and then there's Yoshi's Crafted World now. And they're all kind of their own separate series. Strange. But speaking of like weird nostalgia stuff, like I played some of Yoshi's Crafted World, and it's just like straight up just like a follow-up to Yoshi's Story almost. maybe actually it's almost a little bit easier than Yoshi's Story, but it's lost a lot of its it's the same development team as Epic Yarn and Woolly World, but it's lost a lot of like the Epic Yarn stuff in favor of it just being more of just a straightforward platformer. But my first exposure to a lot of other games, like the Mario games, the other Kirby games, was through emulation. And people like to talk about, you know, I think Nintendo has like a really bad stance on emulation, and they always have. I think game developers in general have a bad stance on it. Because most of the stuff that gets emulated is not, especially now. It was maybe a little bit more of an issue back when like it was more current games, but the stuff that gets emulated now tends to be stuff that's, you know, obsolete, that the developers are not making money off of. And are actively choosing not to make money off of it, so it's kind of, you know, their fault. If people are, like, if they want, if like, for example, there's a game on the NES called Mr. Gimmick, also known as just Gimmick, and it's a really good game. It's a surprisingly advanced, for its time, physics-based puzzle platformer, but also like an action platformer at the same time. It's really short, but also like really intricate and really freaking difficult. And the first time I played that was through emulation. And I have a cartridge. It's a reproduction cartridge, which, you know, some people say that's not a very good thing. It's not a moral thing. But here's the thing: the game was never released in North America. It had a single NTSC version, which was in Scandinavian countries only, and that had a very limited run. It had another limited run in... How am I doing that? Kiki can't hurt me. It had a very limited run in Japan as well, and its cartridges literally go for like $400 to $500. Last I checked. And that's the Famicom cartridges. So I have a reproduction cartridge of Gimmick. Part of the reason, though, why it didn't get that is because it has an extra sound chip in it. Like the Famicom version has like a more advanced sound chip, and even the NES one has a more advanced sound chip in it. And so there's sort of two different kinds of reproductions you can get. You can get one reproduction, which is basically they have to cannibalize a Batman Return of the Joker cart, because that also has the same sound chip that it needs. Or you can get the one with the limited soundtrack, which is just missing one of the channels. The soundtrack is really good, by the way. It's a Sunsoft game, and all Sunsoft NES games basically have amazing soundtracks. Like, listen to like the soundtrack to Journey to Silius, for example. Absolutely amazing stuff. Like you could make the excuse, oh well, you know, it has the extra sound channel because of the chip. But the thing is, it's not just that. It's the composition of the music that's what's really special, and Gimmick is no exception. The problem is that because Gimmick is so expensive, it's like, if you're talking about like video game preservation, how are you going to play that game? The only way you can play it basically is through emulation. You'll have a hard time playing that game legally unless you happen to be one of the people who owns the copy or wants to shell out a whole bunch of money. The copy of the actual game is more of a collector's item, and it's like something you probably don't want to play, and more of something you want to put on a shelf. So when you're talking about game preservation, you know, emulation is really the only way you can go for that. And it's not just Gimmick. There's a bunch of games that are like that. There's a lot of like old DOS games whose publishers are long gone, and the source code of which is lost to time, and things that will never ever see another re-release. Not a proper one anyway. And what's the only way you can do it is like you gotta emulate it, basically. And the thing is with stuff like Gimmick is like I'm sure someone still holds the rights to it, and they could at any time they wanted put it on. And I really wish they did that. Put this on Virtual Console or something, so it could finally get a proper release. I mean, like Nintendo did that with Star Fox 2, another game that was emulated for a long period of time because it never saw, like, that one actually like never saw a release period. But it did get an official release, and guess what? People went and bought the SNES Classic just to play it. So I kind of wish that games like Gimmick could receive the same treatment, because I would happily pay for that game if they gave it a proper re-release. Like maybe they could make a Sunsoft NES collection and have that, and Journey to Silius, and that other cutesy game. It's like, is it like a Sanrio characters in it? It's like another Sunsoft game. I think they could definitely do that. And I would happily pay money for that. But they haven't, so what am I gonna do? And so like I would actually like it's illegal behavior, you shouldn't condone it. Is there not a shard in one of these pits? Did I pick it up already? I hate Moz. These guys appear again in if not these guys, then a very, very similar enemy that might as well be the same one, even if they have a different name, appear again in some of the more recent games. They're annoying as hell. Did I get it? Yeah, I guess while I wasn't paying attention, I got it. So, like, yes, I guess technically it is illegal, but it's also really easy to do it. I would suggest playing Gimmick if you can find a way to play it. If you like Kirby, it's not at all like Kirby, but if you like sort of the tone and atmosphere of Kirby, but you want something that's really challenging, then that's like my number one suggestion is play that game. I don't think there's any other game that I can think of that's quite like it. It was developed by only like a small team of people. What do I need for this? I need electricity, and do I need just electricity or electricity and cutter for this? I'll come back. Needle. Not cutter, needle. Yeah, you're right. Thank you. The shopping mall level. Is it just needle? Or it's electricity and needle, right? Yeah, spark and needle. Sorry, spark. What are your interests other than video games? I listen to a lot of metal. I watch horror movies. And I write horror novels. And that's... Oh, I went to the wrong one. That's pretty much my hobbies. Actually, on my list of hobbies, video games is pretty low on that list. I don't play as many games as I probably should. My big problem is my ADHD is like really bad. So trying to convince myself to sit down and play a game for an extended period of time is hard. I mean, this isn't so bad because this game's a really short game, but like a game that I have to come back to over a number of days to play, to finish a campaign on, like, that's just, like, it's hard for me to convince myself to do that. Is there a needle in the next room? And this is the lightning rod, right? I have these mental associations of these levels with these abilities. It's just like I'm making those connections again. Like, yes, I need to get that. I'm just kind of trying to rush my way through this before I'll grab the shard and then just leave. Oh, I forgot these guys follow you. What a nasty ability. It's Pikachu's down B from Smash is what it is. You know, I mentioned Blockbuster earlier, and it's actually funny because it took that one closed before the Rogers video did, and when it not when it closed, but when I was thinking about it closing, it got me remembering when it was selling off its N64 games a few years prior, the ones that it had up for rent. That it was getting rid of, and one of them was Super Smash Brothers for the N64, and it was they were selling it for like $20 or something like that. And now that game goes for a lot more than that, and I'm kicking myself for not buying it. Or rather, I guess at the time I would have been asking my parents to buy it for me. But I guess the way I was thinking at the time was like, well, I had Melee, right? And Melee it's objectively the better game, I think. Like, I don't think that there's any way to say objectively about anything in terms of like tastes for pieces of art or media. But yeah, like it was like, oh wow, $20, but it's like, well, I don't have $20, my parents do, but I didn't want to ask them. I think the game we ended up picking up was because they were also selling GameCube games. I think we picked up Luigi's Mansion. I think that's what we got from there. Yeah, oof. Oh, touch me. Yeah, these Mopus come out in volleys of 3. I keep forgetting that. Yep, don't eat me, please. Well, you can kill them. I knew that, but I usually don't try, I guess. No. I didn't even see the guy come out of the snow. It's not like a constant stream of them, so I guess that's why. Yeah, that happened. I'm actually not happy about that at all. Because now I have to leave the level again. What's a faster way to get the spark and the... Spark and needle. Can you get... Is spark in this first level? It's trying to get needle in the first level. It's one of the earlier enemies you run into. Yeah, I'm not happy about that. It's because I'm being careless. I played a lot of Kirby 64 when I was younger, and when I talk about like when I was a kid, I started talking about this earlier and I forgot what I was saying, but I remembered it now. Is like when people refer to like as a kid, I don't know why I'm playing that level. It's probably just faster to get the spark here. I don't even think there's a spark in that level. When people say, you know, I played, you know, whatever as a kid, to me, as a kid always denotes, like, below, like, age of 10 and below, to me. Even though I know that's, like, not true. Like, probably the more correct argument would be, like, 13 and below, because after that you're technically a teenager. I mean, you're still a kid, but you're technically a teenager, so it would be understandable. But to me, like, it's always, like, 10 and under is when I think. And so I guess, like, I'm not even that old, but, like, when I think... Well, it's a good thing that Needle's in literally the next enemy in the next room. Thanks for jumping over, you wiener. So, I remember, like, when people were like, oh, well, one of my favorite games as a kid was, Super Mario Galaxy. I'm like, that makes me feel, like, kind of old. Even though, that, like, what year... That game came out was, like, I was, like, 12 or 13. So, even as... It's not that much different, but, like, not... Like, it's only really a few years span of time difference when someone says that, but it's, like... When they say their childhood system was the Nintendo Wii, it's like, well, yeah, I had that when I was technically a kid because I was a minor, but it was something I had when I was in, like, middle school and high school. And I think of, like, I had this as a kid is more of something that's, like, elementary school. Up until 5th grade, and then after that, you're not really... I'm not a kid anymore, Mom. It's like in the Stranger Things 3 trailer. They're like, we're not kids anymore. Meanwhile, they're like 14 years old. Well, the characters are 14 years old. What blows my mind, I probably said this in one of the other streams, is like most of the kids from Stranger Things are adults by the end of next year. Like, oh my god. I guess the reason why that doesn't feel right is because obviously the show is filmed like way ahead of time, like up to a year ahead of time, so the kids always like seem older than they actually are in the show. Let's take some time to just regain health here. Not what I wanted to do. I wanted to go for this one. This way, when I get hit, inevitably, I'm actually going to keep a better eye out for the Mopus, little snowball ghost enemies. Why do I keep doing that? It's like, it's because this, I'm not used to it, because it's like, it takes a second and a half for this, for the actual shot to come down. It's like a really laggy power-up. So when I think of games I played as a kid, I'm like, okay, like, I got a GameCube, pretty late. Like, the GameCube came out in 2001, and I got one in, I think, 2004, so pretty late, being, like, a few years off, but, In terms of console life cycles, like that's pretty late. At least in terms of the GameCube's life cycle, which was, I think, it was pretty short. It was only about 4 years. Probably because it didn't sell as well as like the PS2, which was like, I had one of those too. I had a PS2 before I had a GameCube. And the reason I had that first was because there was the newfangled DVDs, right? And we wanted a family DVD player, and it was like, oh, well, you know, my mom worked at a video store at the time, or had recently, like, left her job at the video store. And, no, not the same video store that I originally got this from. Okay, we're gonna do it this time. Okay, there we go. It's not like a constant stream of them, so I guess it's harder for me to judge when I was running through here as to when they were gonna fire. That's what killed me last time. Their patterns are a little bit funny because they kind of like, when they first spawn, they kind of like circle around in their spot. But yeah, I had PlayStation 2, but I actually didn't play too much of that because Nintendo was like the family-friendly one, right? The guy GameCube had a lot more games for GameCube. This is the shopping mall level. Shopping mall at the holiday season is... There's a sandwich up here. Or, no, it's a piece of cake. It is. Shopping malls at a holiday season. You know, I'm gonna bring this up just because I want to take a break just for like a slight second, but I don't actually want to leave. So I'm gonna put it on pause because my hands are kind of hurting. Is shopping malls during the holidays are a pretty magical thing. Like you can say like capitalism, consumerism. But when you're a kid, it's sort of a magical thing when you go there and they bust out all the decorations and stuff. And it's sort of a magical time. There aren't like shopping malls around here that do it anymore, but it used to be like sort of a big thing. They'd have like a Santa village, rather than just like, oh well, here's like the Santa on his. They used to have a at like the major mall in this city. They used to have a big Santa village setup, which got downgraded to just the castle, and then the castle got downgraded to only like half of the castle, and then they got rid of the castle entirely and they replaced it with like a log cabin for the Santa setup. But prior to all that, they had something, and I know my sister is probably watching this and she's gonna be like, oh my god, why are you talking about this again? Not watching it right now. She'll be watching it on my YouTube channel. And they had this thing that instilled like I'm talking about real Five Nights at Freddy's stuff here. It instilled my fear of animatronics in me. And I wanted to make a video about this, and I still might if I end up like finally solving the whole thing. But I'm just gonna show it right now. Was they had this setup where they had a very large animatronic bear that was dressed in like a Santa hat and a vest and stuff, and he had somebody that was doing like a readout of different Christmas stories over a system of speakers that they had set up, and he looked around, his eyes opened and closed, and his mouth moved, and he talked, and it was very creepy because like I guess I would have been like 3 or 4 at the time, and it was like frightening to see something like that large moving around and talking. I guess like it just kind of had like a really weird effect on me. It was upsetting. And I guess, you know, my sister has memories of this too, and it scared her as well. And I actually have a folder in it for this. This was the only image we had of it. The only surviving image, I suppose, we had of it is this Christmas card, the front of this Christmas card, this is the illustration of what it looked like. This is pretty exact of what it looked like. And I'm talking this thing was like 15, 20 feet tall with the top of its hat. Like it was a two-story mall, and the top of its hat reached like up to the second level mezzanine. It was very, very frightening. And we looked so hard for people who remembered this or maybe had images of it, because, you know, people would probably take pictures in the mall. But the thing is, it was, you know, before digital cameras were a thing, so it was probably a lot harder to find. And my sister did a lot of digging, and she finally found a picture of it, and it's super grainy, but it's from a newspaper article. And here it is. This is a really low quality image of it, very grainy, but there it is. He's right here, and he sat in this big thing, and they had like cotton in here to replicate snow. I'm scared just hearing about and seeing this thing. Yeah, and so here he is, and you can see like the little elf here that they had hanging from the ceiling that you could see in that card. This one here, you can see him up in this corner. But yeah, and you can see it's kind of blanked out here just because of how overexposed the photo is, but he has the storybook that's right in front of him here. And here's like the presents and stuff that they had, and they had like speakers here. And you can see kind of like the side of the Santa's castle on this side too. But this is the only surviving picture, I think, at least it's publicly available, of this thing. And so if you're out there, if you visited Polo Park Shopping Center in Winnipeg, Manitoba, probably between the years of like 96 and 2001 or 2, and you have pictures of this, please let me know, because I just like to, you know, just for the confirmation of it. But when I play this level, I think about that, because it's a shopping mall during the holidays. Or at least, you know, during winter time. I guess on Shiverstar it's sort of a perpetual winter. But it evokes those feelings, I guess. Sense of strange, mysterious nostalgia. This shopping mall in here has a lot of different floors to it. There's another shopping mall in the city, which is downtown, called Portage Place, and it has 3 floors. And now there's nothing up on the 3rd floor now, but they used to have the IMAX theater up there, and the IMAX theater was like a field trip destination a lot of times. And so I remember going there with my classmates and going up to the, I don't know, like I guess maybe people who live in like bigger cities have like shopping malls that are like really large and go up several stories. Like I've been to Mall of America, and that's like a 4 or 5 story building. And I hate heights. And one of those things that really solidified it for me was going to the IMAX theater in Portage Place. And it's just, you have to take 2 escalators up to the 3rd floor, and just being up there, the floor kind of like rumbles a little bit with other people and just the noises in general. It makes you feel really uneasy, and I just hate heights. And you can see like straight down to the bottom floor, and there's a fountain in the mall that shoots a jet of water up all the way up to the 3rd story. I'm not sure if the fountain still does that now, but it used to, at least. And, you know, I don't know, just something like, just the scale of that just frightened me. And the closest sort of feeling I had was like going to Mall of America, the times I've been there, is just like going up any higher than the 2nd floor there. It just makes me so uneasy. I hate it. Because it does that same sort of thing where like the floor kind of shakes, and it's like you realize like how high up you are. I don't know, it's terrifying. I hate it. Like, I'm talking about, like, real paralyzing fear. And I realize, like, some people are totally okay with heights. Grape, orange, peach. That's purple, orange, and pink. Peaches aren't really pink, but I mean, in the context of Nintendo, they are. But I like this because you're going through like this is each individual like little store. Like this is like a florist's. There's electronic shop. This I guess is like I don't know what this is. Oh, it's like a furniture store. These are supposed to be bookcases, and you can see in the background there's like vanities. Judging the exact place where these are gonna fall down is kind of weird. It's wobbly. And here's like an aquarium. I don't know. I am a big critic of like capitalism, but there's a very specific vibe that shopping malls give off. Here's the hardware store. That I don't know. It's almost like kind of like nostalgic and creepy at the same time. At least for me. I think that largely has to do with a lot of the experiences that were imprinted on me as a kid. Like here's the electronics store. Like the bear and the heights thing, because even like Polo Park Shopping Center, the one with the bear that I was talking about, it has a second floor, and that always made me uneasy as well. Not as much as like Porter's Place did, but still I don't like heights. And still going to Polo Park Shopping Center now, not called that anymore, but going there now, I still hate hanging around like the balcony and the mezzanine. Like I always like walking around like the side closest to the store entrances, because it's too much. Stop taking damage, please. Is there something in here? No. I'm not afraid of heights, but if something is too high, I see the worst scenario happening. I think that's like a lot of people have that sort of misconception. Maybe it is different for some people, and like the fear is of falling. But for me, it's not the fear of falling. It's the sensation of being up that high. It's vertigo is what it is. I don't know. It sets off like a panic response. Here's the most famous level from this game, or infamous, I guess, is the factory. And yeah, this entire stage is actually in Adeline's campaign in Star Allies. I mean, it uses the Star Allies assets, but the layout is the same. I need the drill for this. Is there a spike enemy in this stage? Well, is there a spike enemy? Is there a rock enemy? Yeah, I think they're both at the bottom here. Or maybe just one. Just the rock ability. Okay. Rock ability. Classic music, yeah. They use that track a lot now. It's like one of the few tracks that they still use from this game. Yeah, I need the drill to break a box in this level. I only know this because I played this level so many times. Just give me a moment here. Oops, 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 didn't mean to do that. Okay, yeah, I don't need to be in this level. I don't know what I was doing, just mousing around there. Even if you fall in the middle here, it still puts you on the ladder. You can see like the floor here is actually jigsaw pieces. I think like people remember this level not only just because the music's really good, and not just because it's really hard, but it's one of the more visually interesting, well, the most visually interesting stages in the game. It has a lot of stuff going on in the background. Just the design of it is very intricate compared to most of the other stages in the game. I said break a box, I meant break several boxes. No, is it through the bottom that you go up? No, it's through this one. Can you stop? Okay, yeah. Okay. I was like, can you stop the projectiles with this? I'm probably gonna die in this stage. This is the room that's probably easiest to die in, just because King Dedede moves really slow. Yeah, like that. See, it's like he catches his beak in the corner there, and it's done. He pops the little, I think it's supposed to be a crown on top of his head, at least in this game, but it's like a pom-pom in most of the other games. Ugh, stupid fishbone. Oof. Okay, don't get your nose caught in this one, Dedede. Dedede, like, I think the common, view of Dedede, I guess, is that he's a penguin, but I heard that he was actually, like, modeled more after an eagle? I'm not sure if that's true. But, like, he definitely looks like a penguin. Although he looks like significantly more bird-like in this game than he does in some of the other ones. Like, his beak is pointier in this. Does something funny happen when you hold bouncies above your head? No. This guy in the back always reminds me of, like, I know he's like a hippopotamus, but he reminds me of Ham from Toy Story. Oh man, that's what I should play. I should play the Toy Story 2 license game. Like a Phrygius in the thing there. Toy Story 2 license game, I say. Oh, this operates kind of like the Bumbers do. The Toy Story, it's a PlayStation game and an N64 game as well. Is actually like it's a pretty good 3D platformer game. I haven't played it through in a long time, but I've probably only played it through once. But I remember it being really good. I have it too. I've seen that one going for a little bit more expensive now too. I bought it for $7. Of course you need electricity for this. What? I've played this stage so many times. So many times. We'll come back. Fighting this guy with the lightsaber is actually really annoying. Well, fighting this guy with a cutter is annoying too, but with the lightsaber is also really... So yeah, we'll have to come back for that. I'd rather just finish the stage now. Here's the bad room. Oh, can I go back? Can I go back? Please let me go back. I can go back. But the thing is gone. Hey, but if we keep this ability through the rest of the stage, then we won't have to go searching for it. Yeah, you get like the Darth Maul saber here. Which I guess, you know, given when this came out culturally, a couple of years after Phantom Menace came out, so makes sense. It was probably in development at around the same time that Phantom Menace came out. So it makes sense that you have like what is clearly Darth Maul's lightsaber. You actually like you have to run through this, otherwise you probably won't make it. You can stall on top of that thing, but wouldn't recommend it. This one's the annoying one. Yep. I didn't even want a chance trying to get out there because it could be a problem. And we enter this room, and this is where it has the crushing walls. Not on this. Here. There's a is there a thing in this room? Have I collected all the shards yet? I don't think I have. Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm dead. Okay. That room sucks. Okay, well, I'll take you. Because the cutter enemy is the first enemy in the... Or I could just combine you with you. But no, I don't want to risk it. I'm running away from the walls. And the walls are actually pushed by like little robot dudes. Which is something I never really realized when I was younger because I was always like just running away from them. It wasn't until, you know, I sat there and I looked and I was like, oh look, there's little robots pushing them. Back up, please. Did those things do that? Ugh, okay. This is the end of the level. I'll probably just grab some... Yeah, the Maxim tomatoes in an easy spot here. And then I will combine this with the cutter, and then I will do the... big Burnus boss fight again. Big Burnus boss fight. And then I will... collect that shard and then get out of here. Oops. I really need to, at some point, drill into my head what... Oh, I have to do this room again. I forgot. I really have to drill into my head which levels require what abilities. So I have to be careful here, because if I lose this, then I'm kind of in trouble. And if I die, I lose it. Even though I'm playing as DDD. You actually, like, you have to, like, run when you get in there because the conveyor belt is pushing you back. I don't even want to risk anything, just... It looks so simple, but, like, the controls are actually really clunky in this game. And DDD handles, like, riding on top of a gorilla, honestly. It's horrible. One more. It gives you enough time, it's just like, it's so anxiety inducing. Back hurts really bad. So here's where you could get that ability. I'm presuming you carried... You can get electricity at the end of this stage. At the end of this room, rather. There's one of those doohickey screw dudes that comes down. I think it's here, actually, that he comes down in. Let me just float up. No? I don't know what this cat in a vat is. It's one of these. It's this one. They bait you with the cake. Okay. I just have to finish him. This is such a cool looking room, honestly. Ugh. For real? Come on. There we go. And I did get the other one in that other stage, right? Okay, yeah, good. HRH. Okay, what do I want to do? What do I want to have to fight HRH with? Not the lightsaber. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do bomb, probably. I don't think HRH is a particularly difficult boss, when you know his patterns. I want him to do the karate chop down the middle. Or this works too. Yeah. No, that is the karate chop down the middle. What am I talking about? There, took out half his health. You can hit him with his hands when he does this as well. But I just want the stuff, him to, you know, hit the middle so I can hit him better. I tend to float in the corners here because he has a laser attack that moves really fast. And it sweeps the entirety of the stage. These things you'd suck up if you don't have an ability. Yeah, I'm not gonna even show off his laser attack because I don't want to just sit here forever. And then he transforms into this lobster monster. Oh, I forgot that happened. If you get too far in front of him, he starts snipping you with his lobster claws. And if you get too far underneath him, he shoots a missile at you. And if you touch him, he, like as you saw, he just throws you ahead. You want to move back here because he lands where you are. Just move ahead and he'll do that. And yeah, you can only hit him on his underside like this or his head. It's kind of funny because he's a transformer basically. He doesn't really transform into anything. Like he's like a weird lobster monster, I guess. It's an interesting second phase, regardless. The second phase actually has a separate enemy info entry, and it's like it's HRE, He's HRH for the for the first phase. Only boss in the game that has a second phase that's listed separately in the enemy info. Oh, onto the second best boss? Yeah, probably actually. Yeah, I think you know the best boss is probably 02, the final one. So Ripple Star. This music is actually used again in a couple other Kirby games. It's used in Epic Yarn and I wanna say Robobot or Triple Deluxe. It's a good track, and it's kind of a shame that it's really short. And, you know, fun fact about this level, it's literally just the first level again. What's the common? You need bomb and spike, I think, at the end. Yeah, bomb and spike, which makes you a Gordo. Like an exploding Gordo. Will this work? I'm never sure these things sometimes. I say never, and sometimes. Yeah, unlike the snowman, you can actually detonate this faster. Unlike Sonic, I don't chuckle. Yeah, and all the shards are in the same places. It's kind of a fun little bookend to the game because this is the last proper world of the game. This one you fight a giant saw instead of the NZ. It is kind of a shame that the mini bosses are just bigger versions of the enemies and not like, you know, like the other Kirby games. It's like you have Bonkers and Mr. Frosty and Rolling Turtle and stuff, but this is just like, no, it's just the enemy, just bigger. Yeah, why am I not just sitting in this corner and doing that? Makes no sense to me. Such a nice looking level too. You see all the gardens and everything. Color palette is like all like the, I won't say all, but a lot of the like late era N64 games, like 99 to 2001, are really good looking. Although a lot of them do tend to slow the game down, slow their respective games down really quick. Also, this level's shorter because you don't fight something at the end. Yeah, well, bad. Yeah, see how he's eating a rice ball there? Waddle Dee. The rice balls are an actual food item in the Japanese version of the game. And here's, yeah, more of the environmental storytelling. You're progressing down further into the world, and you know, you get this because like the gardens from the previous stage, you can still see them here. Like see? But like now you're getting into scary territory, and this is like the scary level. You gotta go down the well. Is there a special ability I need in this stage? Just cutter, right? Is it this thing that you have to burst with cutter? Oh no, this is... You have to make sure you enter the level with spark ability. You can obtain it from the beginning of the first level. Okay. Oh, do you know what I loved was in Star Allies? They brought back Plug. This guy, always one of my favorite enemies. He's just this silly little blue plug thing, and he never appeared again. And then Star Allies brought him back, not just as a recurring enemy, but as one of the playable buddies. I don't know, that was so nice. There we go. It looks green, but it's actually Spark. It's just the water filter, because the water filter is blue, right? Oof, my stomach hurts. Probably because I haven't eaten anything in about 6 hours. But I sat down and I wanted to commit to playing through all of Kirby 64 tonight, so that's what I'm doing. Sandwich, that's what I want right now. Actually, do I really want a sandwich? If I could eat anything in the world right now, what would I eat? It's a pretty good topic for a Kirby game. Well, pretty good topic to bring up during a Kirby game. Okay, another DDD segment. This is the last one in the game. Or is this an actual DDD segment, or he just clears the way? No, he just clears the way. Why did I think it was an actual segment? I guess they put him in here because of because they want to make you feel like this is the last stage of the game. You know, all your buddies are coming to help you. So Waddle Dee's at the entrance there. Come on, give me the cutter, please. Gotta load him back into the game. So yeah, Waddle Dee is at the entrance, and encounter Adeline further in the stage, if I remember correctly. There's a little hole there you can see. That'll get you the Maxim Tomato. I don't like that guy. It's like Monty Mole dudes. I don't remember what they're called. They have an actual name. Well, everything has an actual name, but... I just hate swimming in this game so much. It's just like it's probably the worst part. That's the second crystal shard, and the last one... Yeah, here's that line. Paints me an invincibility candy. Yeah, the last one is behind this wall here. And there we have it. And now we're in the castle. See, it's like you have to infiltrate the castle. It's like all of the storytelling in this game comes directly through the level design, and not through, like, there's no... Well, I guess you get the cutscenes in between the worlds, but your progression through the world is the storytelling, and I really like that about this game. So now we're in funk music territory. We're inside the castle now. All their vases and rugs in the background, and this is the mini boss rush. Well, not mini boss rush. It's just that combat rush, the enemy room. I showed this off yet. It sucks. I think you actually have to like land on them. I don't know. I've never used this. I guess we can show off like the remaining ability combinations in here. Do you need a thing for one of them? Yeah, we need the... It's the one you have to like burn the rug for, right? With the arrow. This music actually made a comeback in... Was it in Star Allies? It was one of the more recent ones. Robobot, probably. I don't swallow him. Or her. I want you. And I want this. And it's like... Is it this room? Or is it like the next one? One of them is like you have to like burn the rug in the middle of the room. We have the ability now. I hate this one. I like the ability combinations theoretically. It's just some of them just kind of suck. This is one of them. The rock and electricity one also kind of sucks. It's this room you have to do this in. Come on. It's like it has like 3 distinct lengths. There we go. Sorry, plug. Okay. Yeah, I'll show double rock. Double stone, I guess. You just become big rock man. Huge rock boy. They intentionally gave you rock previously to this room because then they have a bunch of flying enemies that are like hard to get. Like that's exactly what they were thinking. Guarantee it. Kirby really likes its Christmas trees. That like there's a Christmas tree sprite that that's in a lot of areas in Superstar. And then of course there's a bunch of Christmas trees in this game. And in places that don't necessarily need them, like that last room. And there we go. And that was the last crystal shard of the game, too. You can see up here, like if you look, like if you're on the ground, you won't see it. But actually, if you look, this is the final boss arena above us. And the final boss of this, well, final boss, semi-final boss of this game, the fake final boss, is. Hold on, I want to get this. I'm gonna need it. Oops. I say I'm gonna need it, and then I don't get it. This is actually a really interesting boss, and I think it works perfectly for this game. Miracle Matter, first of all, it's like it uses the regular boss theme, and then it does something else with it. So it just subverts your expectations in like a variety of different ways. But Miracle Matter can only be harmed by the ability that it's currently representing. Like, see? You can get 2 hits on them like that way. Yeah. And then he puts up his shield. A few of these are really not difficult to deal with, but I'm probably gonna die on this boss, honestly. Right as he goes back into the mill, it's like you probably don't have time enough to hurt him. There's another boss in one of the other games recently that does this same sort of thing with the spikes. I really do like how this is just like sort of a remix of the regular boss music. Yeah, I'm gonna die. Especially because like the depth perception on that is just really hard. Bad for Miracle Matter. Almost nobody remembers him. Yeah, well, he appears in this game, and I think he works really well as a boss for this game. There's no point in even me getting another ability just to fight him with, because like which phases that he comes in with is like totally random. Oops. I'm trying to think, like, what's the most annoying one of these phases? It's probably rock. Okay, good. Got 2 hits on him. I should probably move to the right-hand side of the screen when he gets his... when he gets out Needle. You can get 3 hits in on him here. And that'll clear him out. Fire kind of sucks too, but... you know, he only does it briefly sometimes. I don't know. It's funny because like Miracle Matter, like it's like he is sort of like dark matter-ish thing because he has like eyes, but he's just like a dodecahedron. I don't know. I shouldn't duck there. There's no that. I really hate the rock forms. I keep thinking that I can do that. It'd be probably faster if I do it on the right side because I can get... well, I didn't need to, but I can get more hits in on him that way. There we go. Fire's gone. Oh, I think I got stuck for a second. I was like, we haven't seen Bomb yet. Here's Bomb. Bomb's annoying too. Because you like rarely have enough time to hit him with it. Okay. We got Bomb and what, Rock left? Great, the 2 annoying ones. I kind of hope that they cluster together like that so then you can get that. Okay. Oh no, Spark. He hasn't done Spark this round. The good thing is, that when he's down to like just a few of these, you can combine the abilities. There we go. Wow, 1 health. Like, he's a pain in the ass. Excuse my language, but he's a pain. Alright. So now we should have everything. There's 2 versions of this cutscene that play depending on whether or not you have all the crystal shards. So unless I missed one without me noticing. It's the same cutscene, but if you don't have all the crystal shards at the end, then the queen is not properly exorcised of the dark matter. Interestingly, Kirby having a cell phone to call his Warp Star first appears in this game. Next appears Kirby the Amazing Mirror. So here we are, Rockstar. Rockstar, Neostar. Not Neostar, Darkstar. What am I saying? So I will get actually a full health thing at the end of this. This is like it's weird. Everything's like hexagons. It's like I'm staring at the map of Civilization 5. So I'm gonna get the health upgrade here. This stage is really short too. Yeah, here's the... It's only 2 rooms. Here we go. Final boss time. And there's something that you can do in the N64 version that I don't think you can do in the it's this. You can rotate from side to side. It doesn't really help much, although you can do some funny things okay, the normal way is, if you know, for the people watching who may not know, YouTube or otherwise, is you have to shoot his eye, make him bleed, then you have to shoot his halo, break his halo, shoot the band-aid on his head, and then a cactus sticks out of his butt. And then you shoot the cactus, and that's how you actually bring down his health meter. But here's the funny thing you can do. There's other things. He only stays stunned for so long. This is the only one, like, of the bosses that you actually, like, actively sit here and have to, like, properly fight, I mean. And of course, this is probably one of the most famous pieces of music from the Kirby series. If you can rotate him, and you can break his wings, like the red parts of his wings. I want to show you. I want to show this because it's like the harder way to defeat him, but it still works. It's weird. I just want to show this off, just because, like on the Wii version of this game, you don't have the bumpers on the Wiimote, so you can't rotate him back and forth like this. Well, you're not really rotating him. It kind of looks like you're rotating him. But you're really rotating Ribbon. Because, like, the background shifts with it, too. You're just rotating Ribbon and the camera at the same time. If you veer all the way to the side, you can't really get him in the eye, but you have to just sort of pump it a little bit so that you get more to the center towards the end of his attack. Actually, it was probably easier to do that when he was, like, in his proper stunned phase, and because there's 2 sets of his stun phase. It's that first one after you hit his eye, and then the second one's after you hit the band-aid on his head. So I'll actually show that, because then he does this, and what you can do is you can break off his other wing, and now when you've done that, he can't actually regulate his position, so you can actually move around him. It's slow, but you can do it. But see, like, now he's not actually you can keep going like this, and see you're slowly going above him, but and now you can if you keep going, you can hit his halo. Like, it's really slow, but you can do it. And it's kind of weird that they have that option for you on this. Like, you don't have to hit his eye at all. You can just, like, if you break his wings, this is, like, the shortcut, even though it takes much longer to do. It's really dramatic, like, final boss music for, like, a boss that's essentially pretty silly. I'm not sure if, like, going to the side here and, like, rotating him a little bit might actually help speed up the process. Yeah, it seems like that does. I could be talking out my ass. You don't want to actually, like, fire this and break his halo prematurely, because then you can't actually hit the band-aid, and then his halo will regenerate. Like that, see? Does his halo regenerate? Or no, you just have to keep going until you hit the band-aid, right? Like, I don't know, it's really silly, this boss. I never quite understood why the boss is designed like this. Okay, now his halo's back. And there we go. That's Kirby 64. That ending always kind of reminds me a little bit of the ending of Star Wars. um, you wonder if there's another anniversary collection will come out sometime in the future? Yeah, actually, probably. Yeah, Shinichi Shimomura disappeared off the face of the planet. The director of this game. So nobody knows. I mean, like, there's bound to be another anniversary collection to come out at some point. Some point in the future. Interesting thing about this credits is that if you do not have all the crystal shards, you get different concept art, and it's all black and white. Some of it's the same, but some of it's a little bit different. But yeah, these are all little pieces of concept art for the game. But yeah. Otherwise, it's just like sketches. I used to like look at parts like that, like the mouth there, and think like, what part of the game is that supposed to represent? There's Bill Trinan, who no longer works at Nintendo, but he was very, very, I guess, sort of more of a public face of Nintendo America for a long time. The concept art there for Zero Two is really creepy. Because his wings are more like they're like veins and capillaries. It's really creepy. I guess maybe with the cactus and stuff, that's what they were going for. They're going for like something kind of off-putting and weird, I guess. But yeah, that was Kirby 64. Thank you for stopping by if you have, and if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for checking this out. I have other Let's Plays on my channel. I do have a Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland one that I did a long time ago that it's archived on my current channel that's from my old channel. So it's pretty old, but you can go check that out if you want to see more Kirby stuff. Otherwise, I play Doom, a lot of Doom. And I've been doing Civilization 3 recently, but that's about it. You know what I might do? I might just take a little bit of a break. I'm gonna end the stream, but I might take a little bit of a break, and then I might play something else for a little while. But yeah, thank you for dropping by, and I will see you some other time.